What's up, everybody? This is Terminator Juice, and yeah, Robert's gonna be here in a second. T's gonna be a little late, so I was gonna start at 7:15, but I was sitting down, and I was like, if I start playing Echoes of Wisdom, then next thing I know, 20, 30 minutes are gonna go by. So yeah, not a lot on the docket. Um, I don't know if there's been any gaming news since last week other than 343 is now Halo Studios and they have a Unreal Engine 5 tech demo. It's like I don't care. I don't care until you guys produce a rock solid Halo game on time that I know the single player was well received. So, you know, after the delay and stuff, but the initial launch and after the first reveal, it was a little dicey. I never played it myself. Metacritic was pretty high, so I mean, I know people enjoyed it, and I feel like it didn't really get mentioned other than the problems the multiplayer had. But anyway, I'm sure T will have some thoughts on that. I seen I don't like the guy, but Jason Schreier was talking about pretty things aren't looking great for Blizzard now that Microsoft owns them. I don't know. I didn't really listen to much of it. It just seemed like pretty doom and gloom for the Blizzard guys now that Microsoft owns them. I know my work buddy, he's a diehard Blizzard. He's been paying for Blizzard whatever their service is because of World of Warcraft for like 15 years of his life. He's paying them $15 a month, and I can't think of what it's called. But he's not playing World of Warcraft currently, but he was getting back into it, and he said that the CEO of Blizzard was the problem. That he was making a bunch of bad choices, and that as soon as Microsoft got the acquisition that he would step down. I don't know if any of that happened. You know, Robert?
Wait, you talking about
Blizzard.
what's the dude's name?
Apparently this guy just ruined Blizzard, and my buddy at work who's just a diehard Blizzard guy.
Is it the dude the super like sex offender dude?
Maybe.
The one guy, the
Whoever's
head
in
guy
whoever's in
after
charge when the acquisition went through,
the guy
apparently.
that Bobby Kotick, Bobby Kotick.
Yeah, everyone's hoping, like people were hoping that with him stepping down, Microsoft owning them, that that was going to really help. But and what's up, Lenny? According to Jason Schreier, he was talking to some people at Blizzard, and it doesn't sound too good there right now. So I don't know.
He just released a book on, or he's releasing a book on like Blizzard, the rise and fall. apparently, apparently
Oh
so.
yeah,
So yeah. So
I know the much hated. I forget his name. He goes by Grumps. He worked for Blizzard, and he has some still contacts there, and it sounded like the company was definitely in flux, like last year and before. So I don't know. Honestly, these big companies making these stupid choices. I don't know what the answers are. Were you
who
the one
knows?
that shared that link of like whoever was like doing like study like getting diehard fans in groups and like telling them, hey, don't do this, this is gonna really piss people off if you do this. Somebody shared a link to
No,
that,
I don't think it.
and
I
I
don't
heard
think.
a group of YouTubers talking about that. It might even been a single video, and there's good and bad to that. Obviously, you can't, your sample size, even if it's 100 people, not everybody's going to agree on everything. And if somebody's like, "Oh my God, that's going to be terrible," I mean, it might actually be good. But at the same time,
Yeah.
it really does goes to show. Like I keep always bringing up my where I work got bought out by a big corporation, and it's just I'm not even surprised anymore with some of the stupid decisions that have come down from the top. And it's like I don't know what they're looking at. I don't know what data they're looking at. I don't know what they think, but this is not going to go well, and it never does. Like how do the people at the bottom who are hourly, no degrees, just high school diplomas mostly.
Hmm.
How do these people see the writing on the wall, but the people at top don't? I don't understand it. And
Yeah, I don't know like what they're not seeing. It's so bizarre. Like it's
there
like they
must,
live in a different world.
you know
You
what?
know?
Honestly, the next time our the top guy, he used to be upper management, but he used to be like head of the Americas, and now he's head of the entire corporation, like worldwide. And he's very down to earth, really cool guy. And next time he's visiting, he's very. I'm just gonna ask him. I'm like, what's the difference from where you were previously and your earlier to like being at the top where you when you were below you were like why would somebody make that decision, and now that you're at the top, do you understand why people at the top make the decisions they do? And I won't have
Yeah,
any
yeah,
specific decisions, but it's like the reason whoever was talking about it, because Vanity Fair puts out another these I don't know if it's probably just because it gets the attention, another article about the toxic fan bases that are wrecking Hollywood and stuff. And it's like, I don't know if you probably, I'm guessing you're not a critical drinker fan. I'm indifferent to the guy. I think some videos he's very smart, and other times I feel he gets caught up in the hate group, like not the hate group, but like, hey, we got to bash everything kind of. But a lot of
yeah.
times on his own, he makes them very like thoughtful. Yeah, he might be criticizing something, but he's not just like, oh my god, there's a woman in it, it's trash, or stuff like that. He made a good point, and because the Vanity Fair article was about the Acolyte show again, like I don't know why that show just keeps getting articles written about like how bad
Well, I
he.
mean, to be fair, I guess because I haven't seen a single thing on my anything about Acolyte. It's just what you look up, what you click on is what's gonna pop up for you. I haven't had anything pop up about Acolyte
Well, even
since the
Mizza
show
T,
launched.
and I talked about it for hours. How bad, just how stupid the show is, how bad it
Yeah, yeah.
is. He said there's some good things in it, but the thing is, like, this article was blaming this toxic fan base for being able to sway people into not watching shows and not going into movies. But then in the same article, they say, well, they're just a very loud minority of losers, basically. Well, they're just a loud minority, yet you're saying they influence people enough that general viewing public to not watch a show. Like, that's a lot of power. If you really think they have
That is
that
a lot of
power,
power.
that's ridiculous. And what he said is yeah, it might look that way to somebody who's just like not paying attention. Yeah, all these look at these YouTubers. They're criticizing the Acolyte. Wow, look at the show has terrible ratings. Maybe it's just because what they're saying, the majority of people agree with in general, without being influenced. They just thought it wasn't worth watching. They just thought it didn't look good.
Yeah.
Just because the majority of people seem to agree with them doesn't mean they influence the people. And so it's insane with gaming. It doesn't matter if, like, even if a guy's got 100,000 subscribers, like, that's not going to influence the majority of people who go out and buy video games.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
mean,
yeah, absolutely.
if your game fails, like Star Wars Outlaws apparently did really poorly. I don't see any official numbers, but they're saying
Yeah.
it wasn't great, sales wise. The majority of people who would buy Star Wars Outlaws, I would think, aren't listening to like RGT85 on YouTube, or like
Yeah, yeah.
who else? Like, oh, I don't know who else. I don't really follow like big YouTubers for gaming, like really big ones, who would like discuss a game and like trash it. I know people who review games,
I don't really
and they
know
might
too
give it
much.
a score that's not great, but I mean, who are the people? They think maybe it's like, I would think the only chance of that happening would be like a PewDiePie or somebody who's just like, yeah, Star Wars Outlaws is trash. It's stupid if you play it. I could see him influencing young people,
Like a millions of
but I don't
like
see
millions
those.
of
I don't
views.
see those
Yeah.
guys or the tens of millions of subscribers doing that kind of stuff. I don't.
No, the people that have those tens of millions, especially all they really do is maybe make like some gameplay video or stream
Yeah,
about it, but it's not like they're like
you know.
reviewing it or telling people, "Hey, you should buy this," or
You want
stuff
you
like that.
want you want somebody to influence people to buy your game. I don't know if they have enough money to pay Taylor Swift to promote the game, and then there'd probably be there you get 10 million 10 million games purchases right there. I mean, she has a large following. I think it's just borderline. It's scary how many people
Yeah,
like are
yeah, I
under
mean,
her influence, basically.
yeah, the
Yeah.
Swifties, man, they
I
got
mean,
like
I
the
think
top
she's a good
one.
songwriter and a good performer, but like that's as far as it goes for me. I don't care.
Yeah, but those biggest of the biggest like artists and music artists just have such a grip hold on
I
like
know it's like she could
those
really destroy a she could destroy a corporation just by
probably just say
bash like
something.
she could turn on if she just for some reason Nintendo screwed her over with some kind of partnership. She could almost ruin Nintendo if she wanted to just by saying dragging their name through the mud. What's up, Donnie? But yeah, it's just crazy that these. Well, the main point I was getting to is all right. You got it's good that you're aware that hey, maybe we should bring in some groups of people and say, hey, this is what we're thinking. How do you feel like the fan base would react to this if it's like a really known popular IP like a Star Wars or I don't even say Marvel, but like an individual character or an individual game series or individual show or something huge. If you have to ask like people, hey, do you think this is bad? Like, what are the people who are hiring the people who are creating the shows, creating the stories and stuff? What are they doing if they got to bring in other people and say, hey, why are the fan base so upset about the choices we're making? Like, if you don't know, then that's where the problem starts. Like, if you don't know before you even make the project that it's a bad idea, then that's the problem right there. What's up, J Biggs? What's up, Visored? Outlaws sold around 1 million, which is yeah for Ubisoft for a Star Wars
Yeah,
game.
for Ubisoft and
That's a bomb. I
for
mean that's I
yeah.
mean it could have been worse. Could have been 40,000 like
Yeah.
Concord or
Well, again,
something.
you got unfortunately though, again, we live in the era where it's a high budget game and they spend years and years on it, so they need way more than 1 million to
What do you think?
to
What do you
make a
think?
profit.
Like, what's a Star Wars game from like an older generation? What do you think? Like, Knights of the Old Republic sold on the Xbox.
I'm gonna say 3.2 million. I think it's less than that, but I'm gonna say 3.2 million.
I think it was on.
Ah,
I mean, it's been re-released. Let's see,
on
2005.
just
Or in
Xbox.
3 million, it hit 3 million by March 2006. As of
Hey, I said
2007,
3.2 or
and
whatever.
like back then the budgets were way smaller. That was a big hit. So yeah,
That's
because
a
of the
great
budget. But
profit for that.
even if it was, I mean, it's still not even close to that game, which is a completely different style game and stuff. But
Yeah.
um, it's like T. I don't know if I'm just talking about something that got me thinking about. Apparently, I thought somebody shared it in the group chat. Apparently, Disney was somebody. I don't know if they said it publicly or if this was something that came out that they're like for some of their future Star Wars projects, they're getting like focus groups of like Star Wars fans together and running ideas by them so that they don't potentially continue to piss off the fan base. And I'm like,
Oh,
if you
well, how about that, folks?
why don't you just hire people that aren't gonna try to piss off the fan base with their whatever they're gonna make? Like that's where it
Why,
should begin.
why do
But
you need a focus group?
and it's
That's
like
weird.
it's just like all these like Ubisoft, like we're talking about Blizzard. Um, it's like I guess the big companies that just like I was saying in place I work, some of the stupid decisions that come from the top where everybody below is like, what? This is gonna fail. That's such a
Just
bad idea.
go watch the movies that everybody loves. How about that? And take notes,
I think they
maybe?
tried that. JJ tried that, but it was more
No.
it was more superficial. It was like, hey, we're gonna film in sets, and we're gonna use film instead of digital, and we're gonna
Yeah,
make
it was.
sets.
It
Okay,
was.
that's
It was
part
all
of it.
visual stuff.
That's
Okay,
part of
great. You
it.
got the visual. Yeah,
And I
you
did
got
think
the
it looked
visuals down.
way better than any of the prequels and all the CG
Yeah,
and stuff. But
it's gonna hold up better.
it's like you know, how did they not think some of the stuff was going to be, or how did they think some of the stuff was going to be well received? I know you can't always just try to do exactly what you think people want. You got to surprise them in some
Yeah,
ways. I
hire
mean,
some old guys in their 50s
if
who love Star Wars,
at least have some
and
consulting, like if not don't give them like full power, but say, hey, that's a bad idea. That is a bad idea. And like make sure other people agree. If it's only one person, obviously you can't just listen to one person. Um,
no agendas. Just make a good fucking Star Wars movie. Just cut the bullshit out. It's not that hard.
it just blows my mind.
Well, so I don't actually. Oh yeah, no, I keep forgetting. I'm like, oh well, they got they're gonna have the new Rogue Squadron movie or whatever next year, but then I forgot
They
I think
canceled that shit.
they canceled that.
Did they?
Yeah.
And now it's now Mandalorian and Grogu. Yeah, now it's a Mandalorian and Grogu movie.
Because it was going to be what's her name? Kathy Bigelow. Not Kathy Bigelow.
Patty Jenkins.
Patty Jenkins.
Yeah, that's right. Cause
And after she shit the bed with 1984, it's like nope.
it's
we're not
it's
doing
funny that you brought that up because I was just watching a Next Generation episode where they did that exact thing with I forget what the species is called, the krill or frill or something. Thrall. They have parasites, and they go in.
Yeah.
One of the crew, Riker had to take the parasites so it could live for a few more days until a replacement host body got there, and he became that other person, and then he had sex with the doctor, and Dr. Crusher, and it's like, well, they didn't ask his permission to use his body, to have sex, and it's like that's what happened.
Weird.
That was like the biggest, no, not the biggest flaw, but one of the more like, how did you think that was a good idea moments from Wonder Woman?
But then again, if you think about it, in time period, nobody thought about it that way. But we're in a heightened, awareness now, so people think about that kind of stuff.
Yeah, and the reaction, the girl I watched,
I didn't think about that back then when I saw it.
She's like, yeah, that's kind of wrong to just use his body, like, I guess no one thought that at the time, and I'm sure he would have been fine with it if you know his character. He would have been okay with it, I guarantee it. But
he's cool with that.
But anyway, it's just like some of these ideas, and then the whole we gotta, what do they call it? The expectations. What's the word I'm looking for? To do the opposite of your expectations.
It was Ryan Johnson. It was Ryan Johnson's
subvert expectations.
Yeah.
Don't be.
Which is fine.
It's
but
fine.
You gotta have a reason to subvert them. You gotta have a thing that makes
fine,
it.
like,
okay, I get it.
It's fine in little moments and stuff, but not to be your main goal. Like, hey, we're gonna subvert expectations every moment. Like, I was just funny enough. I was just watching a Final Destination reaction. Same girl. In that movie, it subverts your expectations every scene, every death scene, because is it gonna be this? And it's like, nope, it's gonna be this. It's gonna be that fan. Nope, it's gonna be something you didn't even expect. In that sense, that works. Like, but when it comes to Star Wars, it's like, no, this is what you thought. Luke Skywalker was gonna be happy to see Rey, and he was gonna train her, and it was gonna be awesome. Nope, he's gonna throw the lightsaber away and then go drink some green milk from the creature's tit. Like what the
green whale titty milk.
To have been in the theater, like. And let's say I knew that in advance,
pissed.
to go to the theater and just watch people's faces during that moment,
I was pissed.
Wait, why? I don't understand why people are so mad about the whole he drank milk.
It's just
we were like,
no, that was just that was. It wasn't the milk drinking thing. It was the fuck everything you were expecting to see here.
Yeah, he's just like.
Well, a lot of people, if you look at the comments of the milk video on YouTube, a lot of people are very pissed that Luke drank
that was Ryan Johnson saying "F you guys." That's why people got so pissed off about it.
It's fine to drink milk, but he goes and milks a tea and then drinks it and then makes a face like.
He made us. Yeah,
it's just weird.
That is like, it's not Luke Skywalker. That was what pissed people off.
It was just a dumb scene. It doesn't matter who it was.
You grew up with the prequels. You don't understand these things, okay? The grown folks are talking now. Yes, that's what pissed us off. Here's the thing.
It stood out to me.
We never got to see, and we were hoping that's what was going to happen when we heard about Luke coming back. We never got to see full Jedi power Luke. And we were like, we're finally going to get to see that. Nope. He doesn't like
Lenny Wright said,
anymore.
What the hell am I watching? He was a bitter old man drinking that milk. Like, it was just a weird scene. It was just weird. What is this doing in this movie?
It's a 20-second scene.
I know, but it's stupid.
It's just
how you think the time matters. He's surviving on the two youngsters in time. Like that's not what the duration of the clip is not what
you thought you were gonna get. Why is Luke Skywalker?
And he's
like,
no. What is he drinking on that planet? What is he drinking on that planet? He's drinking milk.
I don't need to see him squeeze it from the teat.
It's just his routine. It's just his routine. It's a quick little routine of Rey following him.
Again,
we're all wrong. You're right.
His routine was the whole routine scene was dumb. Why is that what Luke Skywalker's doing? The whole thing was stupid. It just
was
was
just
dumb.
Like
stupid.
how
I
well,
get-
apparently I
The
have to
way
be wrong.
the way he
though.
had
Me,
to
I have
dive
be
with the
wrong,
big
though.
stick thing, that was come on, that was just nonsense. They wanted a cool visual, and that's what that was. It was like, oh, he stabbed this fish, and he fucking slings himself across it. Like it was
It was
just
just-
stupid.
dude,
It was just stupid.
it was like, what am I watching? That, like Lenny said, what am I
What am I
watching?
watching?
This is, and maybe it's,
No,
like I said,
look,
practically it didn't make any
that's
sense.
what I'm saying. I'm looking at the comments again. 'Cause I'm looking at the people like are obsessed with the idea of him crushing the titty and drinking the milk. We're like, oh my
No,
god,
no,
that's
it's
so
because
nasty.
you're trying to break down this iconic character and make him look silly
Damn,
as hell.
How does he milk? How does he milk then? If he has to milk and drink milk, he has to squeeze the.
we don't
titty
have
to
to
get
see
milk.
it. You don't have to see it.
Oh my god, it just.
It
just was a-
Listen, kid. We've had blue milk for 40 fucking years. I still don't know where it comes from. But we know there's blue milk in Star Wars. I don't need to see him squeezing a titty.
It
We
may,
don't need to see him squeezing a titty and drinking milk from it. It's
It's
weird.
It's literally just the
It's
whole
just
idea
weird.
of him
It's-
living on the
it's
planet.
weird, bro.
He's doing this
It's just
thing,
weird.
and there's
No,
nothing.
no.
weird
What
about
else
it.
was-
It's just weird.
what else?
It's
Let's
a little
focus on
comic.
something else. What else was dumb about that movie? Who cares about the movie itself?
No,
But
we
that's
didn't talk about that movie.
subverting
It's been how
expectations.
many years, man? You still gonna talk about it?
Subverted expectations. It's like, oh, Poe,
Nothing
you
you
know,
do, you
Poe's
have a
this really
story.
good pilot. Poe's awesome. Oh wait, let's have these his superiors just talk down to him constantly and make him out to be this guy who just doesn't follow orders and stuff like. And let's just try to kind of spin it like maybe it's because they're women and not because they're men. You know, like maybe that wasn't there. Maybe people are seeing that, but it just was like, what the like. And they go to
She called him
the
a flyboy. I mean, it was clearly
the
a
casino
female
scene.
dominance thing.
the free the whatever those beasts were. It's just what the hell
You know
am I
your
watching?
type, you flyboy. I mean, that was clearly a male to female type of thing. That's clearly what it was.
Either way,
And I'm a defender of like feminine shit. That was clearly bullshit.
and it's just like that's the whole movie was subverting expectations at every step. It was just like that's just I mean it's just gone down in history. I haven't checked it in anything lately. I don't see anybody saying, you know, I was wrong about The Last Jedi. It was actually brilliant. You know, maybe 20 years from now, people will be making.
Yeah, I mean, they did it with the prequels, too.
The same people that enjoy the hell out of that movie enjoy the hell of that movie, and the few people that hate the movie hate the movie. It's just nothing's changed in that.
That's not a Star Wars thing, son. Listen.
What's the third
That's
movie?
fine. I don't give a fuck. I love the movie. I don't give a shit.
What is the third
You
movie
can
though?
love the movie, but we're telling you asking questions, we're answering them, and you can't take it. Like
No,
you can't accept
that's
our
not
answer.
true. No, that's not true.
You're asking
I'm
questions,
talking
we're
about- I'm
answering
talking about
them,
what's the big
and
deal?
you can't.
I get
What?
what
No,
you're
no, no.
saying.
We're
Because
telling
then
you
you're
why
like,
we don't.
oh, I'm talking to you, little kid, and I'm like, okay, well, I'm just saying that I fucking like the movie. I think that's not a big deal, and then you're like, oh, but I'm right,
But
and you're wrong.
it's-
No, I'm saying like the movie, but you're trying to. You're asking us questions, we're answering them, and you're not accepting
I
our
asked
answer.
about the milk and titty. That's it. I
Okay,
didn't
but
ask
you couldn't
anything
accept. You still don't accept the answer. So
And
This
I
movie,
just
there's
wanna
some-
continue-
Don't come
I
up
wanna just
holier than
continue
thou
the
now.
conversation.
There's
I wanna
something-
just continue
there's
the
something about
conversation,
this
and then you're
movie.
Like, no, listen, little kid. I'm talking. The adults are talking now. That's literally what you said. So I don't know what to tell
What
you.
is it with this movie? What do we think of the third movie? Forget the second movie. Is it unanimous? Okay.
Not good.
That's an
For some
example
reason-
of at that point it's too late to listen to the fans and try to retcon. Just make the movie you're going to make.
Palpatine's return
Just-
is insanity.
Just make the movie that was
insanity.
written and make it, because at this point it just looks bad if you're trying to fix everything. Who the dude that was going to be set up for the villain, kind of. He's
Nope.
suddenly was a spy the whole time. I forget his name. He was a spy for the rebellion. Like, get the hell out of here.
Yeah, I mean, 3 is stupid, but at least it's watchable. I can
Parts of it.
sit back and watch it and not be angry watching it.
I don't know, man. I actually
And
I get pretty
until you
frustrated
give
with that movie.
the Palpatine shit. Palpatine has returned. Bitch, you don't know who Palpatine is. Shut up.
The whole idea that you needed this thing to find the
but that's
planet
the
is so
biggest thing.
stupid.
Like that's so huge. I can't now watch that movie and be like, you
Well,
brought it. How?
Well,
Please
once Leia flew out into the fucking space like Mary Poppins, I couldn't watch that shit anymore either. So, what's the difference here?
Yeah, it's like
At least there was some fun watching.
they're like, oh, we can't have this. I forget her character's name. We can't have people hated her in the second movie. We can't have her in this movie, and it's like, I guess that might have
Oh yeah,
been a good thing to listen to or
Marie
whatever.
Tran, what's her name? What was her
Instead
name in
of-
the movie?
instead of doubling down on
That's
that.
I think that's the actual
That's the
That's a
actress's
real name.
name.
I'm
I don't
saying, what
remember
was
the
the name of the
characters.
movie?
And it's like
Rose.
Rose.
some stuff.
It's a normal name. That's why I couldn't remember. Like Rose. That's not a Star Wars name. What the fuck
Was
is
there
that?
another movie where they did that, where they completely listened to the criticism and changed? Maybe it was just.
Oh, they did it in another Star Wars movie, Jar Jar Binks.
Yeah.
Jar
Well,
Jar
but
got roped in there.
that's the thing. Like that's the thing is like with the Rise of Skywalker, they didn't listen to the criticism. They listened to the fans' criticism specifically because the criticism it's like the highest rated Star Wars movie.
Yeah,
we
you
know the
can't
critics
believe
are
that
always
shit.
right. We know they're always right, and they don't have agendas or anything like
Yeah.
that, right?
No,
I-
no, but I'm just saying like
Yeah,
that was,
looking
that
at
was
the
like,
the
that was
Rotten
a big
Tomatoes and
thing.
stuff.
Look at the fan rating on that movie.
I know that's what I'm saying. That's what
Huh.
that's what I literally just said is that they didn't listen to the critics' criticism. They listened to the fans' outrage, and that's why
Well,
we got that.
The critics are people
Well,
like that guy from
you don't trust
Collider
critics.
who was on
Can't trust
air.
critics.
That guy on air who said he wasn't gonna
Right.
do
The
whatever
guy who
because
said, I'm out here kicking my ass.
because they
being
didn't
a
give him
fan.
an invite to the fucking red
No, I know.
carpet. Those are the
I'm out here
critics
busting
these
my
days.
ass as a fan. Busting your ass being a fan? What?
But
Wow.
in the end of the day, though,
That was telling.
I unfortunately say, and that's just how it is. Like when it comes to especially user reviews, I just can't take them seriously because 9 times out
Yeah,
of 10,
most of
they're
it. You
complete
can't really
nonsense.
trust users either because there's a lot of vitriol and shit. And some people I probably didn't even see the goddamn movie and they're making a
Yeah.
review. So, yeah, I mean, it's you just
Those are-
gotta.
yeah, I mean that's one of those movies like that. When it's like those
Yeah,
huge,
I can't trust that
franchise
shit
type
either.
things,
Yeah.
you just gotta watch it with your own mind and see what the hell you
I
think.
watched it with my own eye. I actually went in. I don't know if you remember. I remember telling Juice this. I was because we were talking about it before I saw Rise of Skywalker, and we were talking about how there's a lot of hate for a lot of
Last
people
Jedi.
don't like it.
Oh yeah, Rise of Skywalker.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Last Jedi. Sorry, Last Jedi. You remember us talking
Mhm.
and having that conversation? I was like, well, good. Now maybe I'll actually like
Yeah,
this
you
one. I
said
can
your
go in and enjoy it.
expectations were low, and you're
I
just gonna
went
go
in
in and
with-
enjoy it.
Right, and they no, and they
Did you like Force Awakens?
I liked it when
mostly.
it first time I saw
I like
it.
most of it. No, I
Yeah.
can still watch Force
'Cause
Awakens. I hate when they do the oh, this is a bigger Death Star. I hate that shit. I hated that, and I hate the fact that she beat him at the end. It's like, well, where do we go from here? It was like the Matrix. Okay, he can fly and he can jump into people's bodies now. So what's going to be his threat? She already beat the big guy. Like what do we go from there? And obviously they didn't know.
Well, they could
At
have.
the time?
It would have been interesting for those to pair up, and a lot of people speculated that it would reverse. She'd become the villain, and he would go back to the
Yeah, that would have been
the
interesting.
light. And that seemed like some people, even from the first movie, were thinking that might happen. So yeah, maybe.
But then
it
you're
was like-
making the girl bad. Can't
But then
do
it's
that.
like, yeah, that's yeah. Then it's like, well, that's what people expected. I could see them saying, well, a lot of people are expecting that. Maybe we should reconsider it. But either way, at some
Well, no,
point,
So here's the problem.
One of the worst
There's nothing
things
wrong
about
with
Rise of
making a
Skywalker,
movie
man,
about what people expect. There's nothing wrong with that. They made that a bad thing.
that's true.
Like, no, it's okay.
I expected
Just
the
make a
ring to
good
get
movie.
destroyed in the Lord of the Rings, and it did. It was the
Mhm.
best ending.
It was
You
still
know.
amazing, yes.
well, my thing is that one of the things of Rise of Skywalker is that like Kylo is literally like mass murderer, killed billions of people probably at this point.
Kylo,
And
yeah.
then and it was like, and it was my thing is that my mom predicted this back when Force Awakens came out, saying, "I bet you at the end they're gonna fall in love and kiss or something." I'm like, no way. I'm like, that'd be so stupid.
Yeah, because they killed the entire.
Crushed
Like,
me that my
It
mom
was-
actually.
They were listening to fans on
is
that shit
so
'cause of the-
ridiculous.
The Raylo shit. That's they got caught up in listening to fans on
Um,
that shit, and that was
I
a
know.
bad idea.
it's like
Horrible,
how
horrible.
many
Makes zero
planets,
sense.
how many billions of people were just on Coruscant? If that's what it was, they didn't say what the planets were. And he didn't like
wasn't
pull the
Coruscant.
trigger, but he was part of the
It wasn't
group.
Coruscant.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
But he was part of the group that took out
that
all
was
those.
confusing. Everybody thought it was Coruscant. I did too, but it wasn't Coruscant. It was a
Maybe
different
they
planet,
didn't know at the time. Who knows? But
probably
all I know is the 5 planets were all in the same solar system in view of the one planet. Somehow they're.
right close to each other. They were just right there.
But those are the little
like
details.
moons.
Those
They're
are the
basically
details
moons.
that get me. Like I'm one of my biggest pet peeves about like adventure movies, like especially like the Raiders of the Lost Ark types, National Treasures. there's these hundreds, if not thousands of year old places, and they like press some stone button in stone, and it like somehow makes the floor fall out. And I'm like,
Yeah.
I'm like,
That
come
doesn't
on.
make sense.
I watched National Treasure Book of Secrets, and I like the movie. I hadn't seen it in a while.
I don't.
And I really like both movies. But there's a scene there at the national park for the Mount Rushmore, and there's like a crevice in a boulder. It's like no one ever reached in there. He reaches in there. He pulls a stone switch, and then like 50 feet behind them, some huge boulders break apart, and like and leave like an opening. I'm like, how did that? These are huge. I mean, these are 30-foot diameter boulders. How did somebody run some kind of connection?
You got to give it some verisimilitude.
I know,
You got to
but
suspend some disbelief.
those movies,
especially with movies like that, they do that all the time.
I cannot. Every time it happens, it calls me out. It brings me out of the movie. Every movie in history that I've ever watched that does that. Like the Mummy does it in the Mummy movies. Like it's like
Indiana Jones does it.
Indiana Jones. Like it's like I just can't get over it. I just can't. It's one of those things I'll never get over. I'm almost 46 years old now, and every time I see that, it just brings me right out of the movie every time. So
I don't know, Mike. It's just like it's movie stuff.
I still think the
magic,
movie's entertaining. I still like it, but it's just like that's the best you could come up with. But anyway, welcome to the movie podcast.
Most of the time, that is catering to the serial era of movie making, like back in the 30s and 40s and shit.
Let me read some of these comments. So Visor said he thought most of The Last Jedi was a Force dream by Rey in the cave because it was so dumb. Sandstorm said they did the stupidest thing, having Luke give a speech to tell Rey that it doesn't matter your last name. Yeah, because people were predicting who she was related to, and it doesn't matter. That's the spit in the face of your fans type of thing. Doesn't matter your last name is about you. What you do, even if you are a Palpatine. So she says Rey Skywalker. So don't make her a Palpatine either. That was calling herself Rey Skywalker was annoying. Like that pissed me off.
Yeah.
The rebellion.
Well, that's. I mean, I like again, I like it because like anyone could be a Jedi type thing.
But you can't just.
Don't make her a damn Palpatine then.
Yeah.
But that was the third movie. That was Rise of Skywalker. That was.
Yeah, but
that's all.
We're talking about all of them.
Why does she just? Oh, I'm Rey Skywalker. You're not. Lenny said the rebellion might have won in Star Wars, but the dark side prevailed over Disney. I mean, that was a lot of money. They had plans immediately for all these movies, like yearly movies, and that's where
probably like 10, 12 movies.
Yeah, they had the guys rushed to finish Game of Thrones. They ruined the last 2 seasons because they wanted to get to their Star Wars trilogy. Never even happened.
Solo.
They paid them to work on it, and then they didn't make it. I don't know if it was the fallout of the
Lord and Miller
of the. No, that was the guys that did The Expanse. I don't know what else they've done. It was I forget their last name.
What about what's his name? Jurassic World guy who's supposed to do the third one.
Mm-hmm.
You do the episode
Navarro, right?
Then he do Dominion.
Yeah, which is
he ended up doing like his own movie, like Book of Henry or whatever. Then it didn't do well.
Did he do Indiana Jones, the last one?
I think they were like, no.
Who was that?
Shit, I'll have to look that up. I don't remember who.
Never mind. It doesn't matter.
All right, let's see. Dorky has a funny video comparing the original trilogy to Force Awakens. Who's Dorky?
What is it?
It's funny because Star Wars Theory defended Rise, which was the most you like this thing? ? Here are a bunch of things movie. I don't know what that means. Oh, it's the member berries. You like
James Mangold, by the way. The guy.
Star Wars Theory defended Rise, huh? I don't. I've only watched a little bit of his content from
I used to watch him all the time. I don't really watch him anymore, but
I told you the story where he was like completely. Either he's not. Like I said, That's
the one that was crying during Mandalorian season 2 when Luke came out, right?
I don't know. I know he was against the Acolyte, and then Red Letter Media called him out for some of his comments, even though it was a little.
Oh yes, that's him.
I only seen like two videos of his, and I'm like,
he was blubbering like a baby when Luke showed up, and people made fun of him and shit.
Yeah,
like,
that guy was a fan, but you could tell that he had enough. I don't know if he caved. I don't know if he caved to to the masses to say, oh, if I like Star Wars, people are gonna hate me, or if he genuinely turned for legit reasons.
I think it's genuine. I think it was genuine because there's enough people for him to keep doing what he was doing. Just shilling. I think there's enough shilling on the east side, so you can.
Even one of the girls I like, Alaska, was caught for in a montage of shills for Book of Boba Fett, and it's like just some of the.
What if you enjoyed it, man? I don't know.
No,
There is. I forget who it is. It's the same guy who turned Obi-Wan into a movie, cut it up, fucking brilliant. He made it a movie, which was supposed to be anyway, and they turned it into a series. He cut it up into a 2-hour movie. Fantastic. They did the same thing with Book of Boba Fett, because that was also supposed to be a movie. And they cut that up. He did some fucking CGI and got rid of those stupid 50s fucking biker things. He turned them, and they looked like
that was Robert Rodriguez.
Yeah, that was his stupid shit. But the same guy, or I think it's 2 guys, and they both did cuts of it, and I think they teamed up on Book of Boba Fett. And I saw both. I'm like, that's amazing what they did.
Robert, I was like, I watched some of her reactions. Like, I didn't think nothing of it, but when you see different people doing the exact same like reaction, like saying the exact same things, doing the exact same motions, like in a montage, and it's just like, wow, that does feel very artificial now. And it's like, how did I not? Maybe it's just being influenced by seeing this, but I'm like,
it depends.
That was some. Oh my god, there are those. Oh my god, that was so cool. Like they all say it the exact same way. Oh my god, that was so cool. Just like that. That's not how you.
First time.
If you were to play like a Smash trailer, we all go Smash.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is, I'm saying it how they say
that's
it.
The general reaction.
I'm not.
But at certain points you're talking about.
When a real person's excited, genuinely excited, they don't say, "Oh my god, that was so cool." Like in that same type of way. That's how they were all saying it. The same inflections, the same.
They're bored if you don't do that stuff.
It's bad acting. It's literally just.
I'm all about the reaction.
It's just bad.
Whatever
It's just bad acting. It is what it is. And as when you see it in succession, you're like, oh my god, like.
You got to get out of this reaction world you're in, man. You're getting recommended all this nonsense.
That was during the Acolyte thing. I saw some montages of Star Wars shills. It's actually pretty funny, but it did make me look at.
Yeah, Visor is exactly right about that. Did we forget Dexter Jettster's diner? And in the prequels, like that totally could have been something that Lucas had
It was
done.
just shot so poorly though. It was just done. I know they have a big budget.
That's Rodriguez.
He likes to do things cheap and.
Yeah,
himself like
that
visual effects.
Visor is 100% right. That's something that Lucas could have done himself, obviously because of the the diner and what was it, Attack of the Clones?
CinemaSins, isn't that dude that does those lame videos? Why does Drew say? Why does his Visor say I have CinemaSins brain?
I think it's just because he CinemaSins is literally the definition. I mean, definition like just nitpicking. So
but that's like it's one specific thing for me. It's anytime.
Because he does like very specific things. That's why I think that's.
I've watched some of his videos and it's just random dumb stuff. Credits. And it's like this is just very specific. When some 1,000-year-old mechanism somehow still works, that bugs me every time. So, the really bad, like the rolling ship in Prometheus. I don't know what he was referring to with that, but yeah, that's. Prometheus is another thing too.
In a straight line when his ship's crash. Divert yourself out of the fucking line of sight of this big ass ship. No, it's gonna run in a straight line.
Especially when it only took the other girl 2 rolls to get out of the way.
Yeah,
it's like ridiculous. That's just one of those. They came up with that on. They're probably filming. They don't know exactly what's gonna happen. They're like, all right, well, you're gonna trip and then you're gonna roll. And then when they've added the visual effects in later, like.
But that's the laziness.
They're probably
we can't come up with smart things to get them out of these situations. They do the lazy thing that happens in a lot of movies, and it's annoying.
I don't know what would be worse, having her foot get stuck in a crack that somehow her foot got in,
the foot in the crack,
or having her fall and just say, "Oh my god!" while the other girl just does 2 rolls and she's out of the way. It's like that's the kind of stuff you could say
takes me out of the movie.
You could say that's nitpicking, but that's just bad thought or bad design, whatever you want to say. They
Yeah.
couldn't come up with something better for one person to die and the other to get away like
And then
narrowly.
you see a movie like The Creator, which is fucking smart as shit, and nobody watches that shit. Like nobody went and saw that poor movie, and it's like,
Saw it in theaters.
Did you
You
think it
saw
was
it in theaters,
great?
yeah.
I heard pretty
I was
mixed.
it was an empty theater, by the way, but yeah.
Literally my only issue was the ending, but I thought all the way up until
Yeah, I
that
liked it a lot.
it was great. It was a fantastic film.
Yeah, no, it's a great movie.
I forgot
really
about
enjoyed
that. I might have to watch it. I watched The Hunger Games, The Ballad of the Snakes and Songbirds, or whatever it's called, Songbirds and Snakes, and I'm like 2/3 of the way through. I'm like, man, this is really good. I like this
really good.
actor. This actor's really good. I forget he was supposed to be Snow till like when I went in. I forgot all about that. I only think I watched maybe Jeremy Johns' review when it came out. I don't even remember what he said. And I know Robert mentioned something about and it just like it's going along. This is cool. All right, and all of a sudden, he picks up a gun out of a hole in a cabin, and the movie just completely changed. Yeah. It's like what? Yeah. I almost hit the stop button. I'm like, they're messing with this. Has to be like a dream. What the fuck just happened? And then that was it. That was the movie. I'm like,
it was so fast. Yeah,
they had to have been like, all right, we're gonna try to make a new trilogy. They're filming, and they're like, no, we can't. Lionsgate's had too many misses. We can't risk it. Make this one movie. It's got to be 2 hours. That's what it felt like. There's no other reason for it to take that sudden turn, the unearned. It's like, for those that have seen Game of Thrones, it's like Khaleesi's turn in season 8. Just instantly, there was a little more build up to that. There was a little bit of seeds planted, but it was just like, oh, we just got to turn her instantly right now, and she's just gonna be a different character. And I'm like, what the hell just happened? I'm like, I'm watching the last.
I really like that first.
I'm watching the last 20 minutes, like, what the hell are they doing? Like, I was mad. Yeah. Like, what the hell are they doing? And it's like, it makes no sense. He needs to be the villain at some point, but not like this. Like,
it was rushed and stupid.
The dude had like this big heart, and he just really wanted to help. Plus, he wanted to get his, help his family, get prize money, and all this. The revelation about Peter Dinklage's character didn't hit at all. That why he was so angry. He thought it was one thing, and it turned out he's just mad because the Hunger Games existed, and he was hoping they'd be done. And the dude Snow came up with ideas to keep it going, and he was mad at him. I'm like, okay, that might have been cool if I cared at all at this point. And it's just like, how does that? Who makes those decisions?
Last movie thing for me. Okay, so all you Snyder Cut fans, and I'm one of them. I thought Snyder Cut was vastly better than Justice League,
for sure.
Right? And I think most people would say that.
Mm-hmm.
But goddamn, was the Snyder Cut not necessary for that bullshit Rebel Moon? Oh my god!
Did you watch the whole thing or just part?
I couldn't get through it. It was so bad.
Really?
I was like, oh well, this is why Netflix had you. This is why I was just curious. I was like, is it good? Can it be better? Can it be a Snyder Cut type of thing? Where it was unbelievably, it was needlessly like raunchy and sexual. It was like it was like Zack Snyder's fever dream and shit.
I think he is a bit of a.
This is nonsense. It was utter nonsense. I'm like, oh well, this is why they told you to recut this shit and do more scenes, because this shit is terrible. It is way worse.
Well, he said,
I don't know how it could be worse.
He admitted that
way worse.
He admitted that when they were filming, they shot the scenes for the director's cut as they were making the original stuff. So it wasn't like, oh, let's do this later. He said at least in an interview that, we're gonna.
He was just indulging himself basically for the director cut stuff.
I think they thought they'd have that same effect, and like I think I sent you guys pictures when I was at like a Target. They have merchandise that was on sale, like heavily discounted. They had merchandise on store shelves, like action figures and stuff. They thought this thing was going to be huge. That's another. How did somebody at the top
who saw this and thought this was going to be?
And I know Netflix is their directors praise them because they don't interfere, and that's why they get good and big name directors and stuff, because they don't interfere like a lot of studios. They needed to interfere. No wonder Warner Brothers kept interfering with his shit, because the dude.
My God. And
it's funny. I just rewatched Watchmen about 3 weeks ago. I think that's it's his best movie.
It's his best
Honestly,
movie.
I think it's his best movie.
I think Snyder Cut is very close, but I think
I
Watchmen
love
is his
Man of
best.
Steel. I love Batman vs Superman.
Mhm.
Watchmen's an amazing film. I don't really
Yeah.
have any complaints about
I mean,
it.
that's what got him.
That's how he got
DC
the
universe.
DC. Yeah,
Yeah, because
and
that
it's
shit
like
was so good.
even the cinematic, the shots. I don't know who his cinematographer was, but the shots were fantastic. And it's like,
Mhm.
yeah, he still uses slow mo and he still uses music and stuff, but it's
It's
because
not overbearing.
it's
or
because
anything.
he was adapting somebody else's material, which he's
Right.
good at. I think he's pretty good at.
Yeah, I think
And
he's good at that.
he probably didn't have they didn't have as long of a leash. You know, he probably knew that he's trying to prove himself. And then once he got, I'm sorry, I wouldn't say every director, but a lot of directors, you can just tell they have very big egos, and he definitely has he's very confident
Mm.
to a fault, I think, in
That's
himself.
what I said. I think Zack Snyder would be a fantastic director as long as he's not writing or
Mhm.
directing his shit that he wrote, because he is not a good writer.
I would love to
He's
see
not a good
him
storyteller.
like direct something that was like a, I wouldn't say like I don't know about like a fantasy like Hobbit or Lord of the Rings type movie, but I'd love to see him direct something that was like produced by like I think the first was it Man of Steel and Batman vs Superman
Yeah, those were Chris
Chris Nolan
Nolan.
produced,
Yeah,
and somebody that could reel him in a bit. I think he
yeah,
could be
hone him
great.
in and then keep him sane.
And but yeah, it's just crazy, and that's just again like, how did somebody not watch this and be like, wow, this is a problem? Maybe he said, hey, this is what people said when the first cut was edited. Don't freak out. This is what they said when I edited the first cut of the Justice League. It's just a rough cut. It'll come together. And by the time it's done, it's like they already got the money invested. They might as well put it out. And but God, I didn't even watch the second part. I couldn't even barely made it through the first part, and I saw like the setup for the second part. I'm like, I'm not even watching this. I don't care. I don't know any of these characters' names.
The second one, yeah.
It's like a video game introduction to characters. That's how they do it. Like cinematics to a
Really?
video game.
Yeah,
Like-
it's like the Suicide Squad, the first one. It was literally like, here's this character,
We need-
and it's just,
yeah.
here's their stats. This is what they do. I'm like,
We need to
what?
recruit these people.
What is this?
Let's go to this guy. And there's like a scene of him taming like a
It's
Pegasus.
very cool.
It looked visually
Awesome
cool,
Yeah,
but it meant nothing.
but it made no sense for the movie.
and then he did nothing even close to that in the
He
rest of the
did
movie.
nothing.
Like
Dude did
they
nothing.
didn't need him on the team. It's just stupid. But
Yeah.
all right. Oh
But yeah,
shit.
don't watch the director's cut because it's way worse.
Let's get into gaming because I got a hot
Damn,
take.
it makes me want to watch.
This is a
that.
video game.
Which one?
podcast,
Which one
right?
do you want to watch? What do you want to watch? Rebel Moon.
The director's cut of Robo movie. Makes me want to see how bad it is, man.
You won't get through it, but you can start it.
Because isn't it like 6 hours?
It's total. Yeah, all two of them together, 6
That's
hours.
insane.
The director's
It
cut.
does not need to be that.
Yeah.
the
It's
director's
still
cut is
part-
3 and 3.
Really?
3 hours and 3 hours.
Is
yeah.
what's her
It's still
face?
cut up.
Does Sophia or whatever? You said there's some gratuitous.
Yeah, she's
sex.
naked and grinding on a dude who was in the regular cut was nothing to her. They didn't have a relationship or anything. But they start. I'm like, what the hell is this? Why is she with this lame dude who was just kind of in the background? All of a sudden, they
Might
have
have
a
to-
like sexual relationship.
Might have
I'm
to
like,
look that
what is
up.
going on?
She's like,
You might. That's what I'm saying. You might start it and watch that stuff, and then you're done with it.
But you'll
I-
finish and then turn it off.
Yeah.
I mean, I literally still remember the very first time I seen her in the Kingsman. I'm like, she's wearing these black stretch pants with her, it was CG,
hold
but
on.
and I'm like,
Let
damn,
me say this because I wanted to enjoy it on that level myself.
but no.
But she has all these like weird scars, and it just
Oh.
looks. It don't look good, bro. But
And since we're on the topic, the rat catcher from the second Suicide, she loves taking nude photos of herself. She always covers up, in the Instagram, but
good for her.
almost every Instagram photo she posts, there's like major side or inner boob, or she's completely naked.
Hey
It's
man,
like
look,
she just
if
loves
I had a
being
crazy
naked.
She's a
body,
free spirit. She's
I
a
don't
free
blame
spirit.
you. I don't
Um,
blame you, man. Look, if I had crazy abs, dude, I'd be all the time. We do, you know.
It's like
So
when
I get
Beavis,
it.
or was it Beavis and Butthead? When Beavis was like, if I was a chick, I'd touch myself all the time. It's like- and
I wonder if I
that's what she
showed
is,
that.
Beavis
I
is a
wonder if
chick.
I showed her Instagram photo on if I'd get blocked. I mean, it doesn't
No,
technically show
Bobby,
anything.
probably. I mean, I doubt you didn't know because it's on Instagram, so I
I'd
don't
be a
think.
total slut.
I won't. I'm not gonna risk it. Let's get to video games. I got a hot take. If Retro Death and Clocked It are listening, I'm gonna apologize in advance. They might get a
Uh-oh,
little
hot take.
butt hurt. They might get a little
Uh-oh.
butt hurt.
Uh-oh.
So
Uh-oh.
I haven't said anything in
We
the
need
chat.
some,
I don't think.
As her butt
I said
taste.
one thing in the chat about Retro Death's take on the map. So
Nichols.
I've been playing
Hey,
Echoes of
it.
Wisdom. I did
Okay.
3 dungeons, and I got some thoughts, and I'm gonna share them. So, hot
Well,
take
I mean,
alert.
I don't expect it to be very good then in
Uh-oh.
that case because
So-
because you haven't said
I can
anything.
tell what's coming already.
Oh no. Oh,
So
no.
I gotta say, it's the worst example of bitch ass bitches complaining about the stupidest shit because this game's amazing. This is like one of the best, if not,
Nice setup.
it's
You
the
set us
best.
up.
I think it's literally the best. And this part will probably piss people off. It's easily already the best handheld Zelda game I ever played.
Wow.
And if I'm comparing it to the handheld games,
Wait a minute. You mean you mean the ones that were specifically made
yeah,
for the handheld?
all the handheld
Okay.
games
Better
ever
than A
made.
Link Between Worlds?
Mm-hmm. At this point.
Wow.
Better
I
than
know
A
you
Link
love-
Between
don't you, like,
Worlds.
love that game? Don't you,
Wow.
like, love that
Yeah.
game? Damn.
I gave Link
Wow.
Between Worlds.
That's
I
high
love.
praise, folks.
I don't know if I love it.
Yeah.
I gave Link Between Worlds like a 9.1.
Oh, I
or
know
something.
they.
I like
yeah,
it.
I know you don't.
I think
love
that's
it.
love.
It's
You
a lot.
hit the. Oh, you trying to be funny?
No,
you,
I-
you hit the 9s. I think that's love.
For me, love is the Breath of the Wilds and the Metroid Primes. I don't know if I can give a love to a 9, but either way, this game is freaking amazing.
Wow,
All the people who
okay.
complain about the
Was not
combat
expecting that.
using the echoes, these guys probably the same people complain about weapon durability in Breath of the Wild. Like this, it's so freaking cool. Like I have no issues. There's no clunkiness. There's no takes forever. Like somebody was saying, like get some better damn echoes then. Like go find a Dark Nut level 2 and watch him just wreck people. Like oh wait, but
Okay.
the Dark Nut's not effective. Let me use this other creature. Oh wait, that's not effective. Like the challenge, the puzzle element is, and sometimes is just finding out who's gonna be able to best destroy or defeat the enemies. This game has some of the best music in the entire Zelda like library of games like so far. It's like the Gerudo
Whoa.
Desert music is some of the best Zelda music I ever heard. It's incredible.
Wow.
I mean this,
Wow.
and I went back because I was like, man, it's just recency bias. I went back and played A Link Between Worlds a little bit. And,
Okay.
I forgot that you can't get anywhere in that game without going into a rift, going through a crack, coming out in low rule, getting around, and then going in another crack and going back. You can't just go.
Talk
You
about
can't.
clunky.
You can't really go anywhere. Now. I'm trying to explore
Yeah.
the map and see like, is this map really similar? Again, Retro Death. Yeah, there's some similarities. Somebody overlaid it. You could say a link to the past and Link Between Worlds map fits right in, but to me, it doesn't. It looks so different. Maybe it's just the camera angle and the art style. Hardly ever do I feel like, oh wow, I've done this. I've seen this before. Almost everything I've done so far felt new. And
Wow.
Nice.
yeah, I mean, I'm not a huge fan of like the plastic look of in games like this, like the diorama, but it's stunning. Like there's shots
Yeah.
that are just like
Super good looking.
you have to see it. I don't know. Maybe it's the OLED screen in handheld mode, but with the blur effect,
Okay.
that shit looks
Yeah.
so good. Like I'm taking screenshots. I took no screenshots initially, and then when I was in handheld mode, I was taking a bunch of them. Like the story, yeah. The only disappointment for me was that this isn't a continuation. This is unrelated. They don't know who Link is. Like it's just a weird story so far. I thought they would just be like a successor.
Oh.
Zelda doesn't. She didn't. It's a new story. So I was surprised by that since it's a similar world.
Okay, I thought it
So
would
it's
have
a
been like.
new Zelda and a new Link?
Yeah, So
Oh shit!
I
I thought it was like continuation
but
from
people made
Link to
it
the
out
Past or
like
something.
everyone said the exploration's great, and it is. I use that bed still like a lot. I use the bed that they showed in the trailer,
Nice.
but now I have the water blocks, and then once you get those, that's pretty much my go-to. Yes,
Nice.
if you have to like. If you don't use an echo hardly at all, and then you're like, oh, I need to light a torch, it is pretty cumbersome to like, because even you got your most used, your latest learned, by type, by like power, well, how much energy it uses, and that's it. So if it's like one of the first ones you learned and you've hardly ever used it, yeah, you have to scroll. Especially if you like 60, 50 of them that I have right now, you have to scroll way over. But that only happened one time so far.
Yeah.
The other complaint, which is could be solved by playing hero mode, is at times I felt like it's too easy, and then other times it's pretty damn challenging. Like, so I don't want to switch it to hero mode. Um, let's see, you pick up items and throw them. You can attack that way. She has a jump, which they from Link's Awakening. The jump feels great, and I enhanced it. You have like perks, basically items you can equip that give you benefits. One of them's a higher jump. One of them's swim faster. And I'm like, this is all great additions to the Zelda universe, or like the top down Zelda
Right.
mechanics. Like I guess the dungeons are just kind of, so far the first three, they're not really, there's no real puzzle solving to them. They're just kind of, I just go to the room to the left first, and then that's what my method is: go up, then go right. It's not that hard to get through, but at the same time, I'm not like bored by them. I'm not disappointed. The bosses have been decent. And I'm just like, this game 85 or whatever. That's way too low. there's
86, I think it's 86.
there's
man,
no
so-
way this should score. This should be. I know the score doesn't mean everything. If anyone's thinking that this is below, like legitimately below, like Spirit Tracks and Phantom Hourglass, and get the hell out of here. Like, it's not even close. Like, maybe by the end, I'll change my tune. Maybe I'll be like, all right, I'm bored of this. And then you have the ability to turn into Link for, you have a meter and you can extend the meter. Like, I finish off bosses that you heard them as Zelda, then you switch. You're still Zelda, but you take like a Link form, like an outfit and a sword and a.
Of course, you got to turn into the man to fight the
But
boss.
she's not. But you're still Zelda. She's just wearing his gear, and you can do your standard attacks. So you have basically the best of both worlds. I think. I don't understand how, like, people are complaining so much. Like RGT 85 saying that he's disappointed. Rule 2 says he's kind of disappointed.
Wait. This is the guy who praised fucking that garbage ass Sonic game.
Yeah, Sonic Forces.
You can't trust Mr. Sonic
No, but-
Forces there.
Rule 2 said
Yeah, I don't
it's
know how you listen to RGT 85 of all people.
Yeah, that was a weird.
That's,
pulled that
I
one out
just
of the
happened
hat.
to see it. But some of the reviews I listened to were like, yeah, the combat's it's boring just standing around watching your echoes attack. Like, what are you guys smoking? I'm not standing around at all. Like, I'm constantly remaneuvering.
They act like it's Kirby Star Allies or some
You
shit.
get behind, let's say they're attacking your echo, and they have a shield, then you go behind him, and then you quickly drop it again. It makes the one in front disappear, and the one all of a sudden is behind him, and now you can attack him from behind. It's like, you can still use the same tactics. It's just super clever.
It's a video game, and a lot of gamers don't know how to play video games.
That's true.
That's what the problem is. They want to be handheld all the way through.
And it's like, man, the people are
I
right
have to
though.
think for myself.
The constant slowdown from 30 to 60, it's hard to get over. I'm starting to now. It's just like,
Wait, what?
why have it? It goes from 60 to 30 because it has
It
double.
drops to 30.
Yeah, because it has double buff
Like
and
Link's
frame.
Awakening
It has
sort of
double
thing,
buff
yeah.
and VSync, so it's either
Oh,
30 or 60,
man.
nothing in between. And when it's 60, it looks great, but it so often drops to 30. It's noticeable but when it stays at 30,
Well,
you
yeah,
don't notice it. It's the jump. It's the difference. Just have it
Yeah.
locked at 30 when the Switch 2 comes out. Have a 60 FPS mode. Like,
Yeah.
it's just, it's so un-Nintendo like. And they did it with Link's Awakening. That's
Yeah.
the same team that made it, Grezzo.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
Oh yeah, that's right. That bitch did the same shit too.
Yeah.
Damn.
That was one thing that I it's one of those few times where I really noticed the frame rate is.
I mean, I don't know how many.
And you think this game should be able to handle 60? this type of
I
game.
know there's a lot of there's a lot of
I know
effects
there's a lot
going on.
going on. I'm not acting,
Hold on.
but it is a top-down like video game. You're not dealing with like art, stuff in the distance and all that kind of shit.
I don't know. I'm not sure. I mean, I haven't played it. Did you pick it up at all, or no?
I haven't played Echoes yet.
Yeah, I mean, admittedly,
I've
me
been
being
busy,
me, I
like a
won't play it for a long. I won't be playing it for a very long time.
Yeah,
anyway.
you get out. So.
But I'm very happy to hear Juice liking the game a lot. I was really expecting because I didn't hear anything about him, so I thought he was gonna say he hated it or something.
Quit calling.
Yeah,
But I
thought
mean,
you
to be
definitely
fair,
said that.
like right now I just saw it it's at 86 now. I know last I was at 85, so it was where you were at, right?
So
on
it
the
went
dot.
up.
Yeah, so it went up by 1, so 86.
That's funny.
Yeah, but I think I mean overall, I mean I still am surprised it went under a 90. Like, to be honest,
I am
with you,
now, like-
I'm not. I mean, even if everybody came out and said it was a good game, I knew it was going to get docked just because of the style of game it is. It is not, what people.
But it
most
also
probably
plays.
want.
You have the freedom to like the exploration. Yeah, you can't technically just climb a wall, but
Yeah.
once you have the spider, you just link to
You
it
can
and
explore
it
in every
climbs.
Zelda game.
You
It's
can
not about
basically get
exploring.
wherever you want immediately.
It's about the camera angle. That's
Well, it's like
Yeah.
kind of
That's
like,
what I'm-
yeah, unfortunately, that's really what it is.
That's what a lot of gamers they want. Open world-ish looking,
Honestly,
behind the
like
shoulder type
Yeah.
of video games. That's what a lot of guys like today. And I knew it was
But I
going
mean,
to get
I
docked
heard that
for
this
that
is
alone.
very much like the combination of almost the freedom of Tears of the Kingdom and stuff, right? And then also, well, yeah, I guess the freedom of Breath of the Wild and then the Tears of the Kingdom, like freedom of using materials and stuff like that.
it.
The camera
Honestly,
angle and the puzzle element, I knew that a lot of people, it wasn't going to be mainstream enough for a lot of people. That's why I was speculating it was going to be in the 80s.
it made me forget about Astrobot within the first 30 minutes. I don't like just
Damn.
Astrobot's gone.
Poor
Like-
Astrobot.
Like
Poor
Damn.
Astrobot.
then I don't remember playing it. Like it's just this is Nintendo. This is Nintendo. I know Grezzo handled a lot of it.
Yeah, but it was both of them, EPD and
Yeah, it's
Grezzo.
always a joint venture with those.
This is why I love gaming type of stuff. Like I mean, Astrobot
Oh.
made me feel that too, but this is just
Yeah.
on another level for me.
Nice.
And
That's dope.
God,
That's good, man.
the
I'm happy to
music,
hear that.
the
I
music.
really thought it was gonna be something else.
I know that's why I wanted to set them up.
I mean, I would have respected your onions, but
I honestly,
I expected it to be a little sour for you.
Yeah, because I just thought because you didn't say anything, I didn't hear you say anything about it.
Oh, he
so-
was
I was not. My excitement
Saving
for
for
the
this.
game was neutral. I had no negative feeling. I had no excitement, positive or negative. I was just like, oh, no.
Yeah.
Switch game came out. Yeah, well, I'll probably pick it up. And I was like, yeah, I better try it. And I had a 3 or 5 days off in a row last week. I was like, no, I'll just go pick it up. And
And it's the new
I haven't,
Zelda game.
I haven't touched Prince of Persia since I got it.
Oh shit! Yeah, you just picked up Prince of Persia too. That's right.
So I wanted to, I need to finish the Shadows of the
My
Erd
thing is-
Tree.
It's going to be a $260 purchase because I want to get something else along with it. And that's why I haven't jumped on it.
I
yet.
would have been tempted if they released an OLED light at this point.
OLED
I think
version,
that
yeah.
would have been a good decision.
You can convert it yourself,
Can
for an
you?
extra $50. Oh yeah, you can put an OLED screen on that bitch.
Really?
$50. Yeah, $50. And ain't that hard.
I have to look.
Maybe
I have to
we'll
watch
go.
a video on that.
Yeah, me too. I'd have to watch.
So now we're talking about a positive. We can talk about a negative.
Oh,
Sony
Uh-oh.
and their damn remake. I knew the
Oh.
Until Dawn. I thought Until Dawn had been out. I didn't know that
I
just came out.
forgot about that.
I forgot
like,
about
just-
it, but they did mention it. It
That-
wasn't.
yeah,
It's not new. So
And they just
I
released
forgot.
it. And I'm like, well, maybe Sony didn't publish it or something this
Yeah,
time around. They did.
Yeah, it's
Sony.
Sony. Who else was
like-
gonna do it?
Well,
It's
apparently
their
they're
game.
making a movie and a sequel, so I could see them wanting to get it back out there. But why?
Back out there. It's
why-
it's there. And it's not even like a day. This is literally like.
Just
I
do
mean,
like a
They're literally bringing. They're thinking they're Nintendo bringing the Wii U games to
Yeah.
to Switch. But the difference is the Wii U games can't be played on Switch. All these games.
Right,
can be
at
played
least
on
there's
Switch.
that. At least you can't play
Mhm.
this shit on the Switch, right?
Yeah, like all these
But-
games you can play on the PS5, and they
With
remade
enhancements, by the way. with
remade it.
enhancements.
Yeah,
I mean,
you
in
know,
a way, it's a positive because it's like for us, it's like just just you don't if you want to play the game and you missed it, just pick up a cheap used copy. You can play it on your
That's what I'm
PS5.
saying. And
Um,
it's like, and I'm looking at the differences. I'm like, come on, man. We really gonna act like this is like a giant difference?
well,
No,
it's a
game
mostly
looked pretty
CG.
damn good back,
It's a
back when it
mostly
came out.
it's a
it
mostly
looked
cinematic
really damn
game.
good on the
Yeah.
PS4.
I
It
saw the
still looks really good.
comparison. I mean, it definitely looks a little
The
dated, I
lighting is
think,
different.
but
The lighting is a lot of the lighting is different, but like character model wise, like they look the same or
well, they
not
probably
the same,
just
the word.
went back to the raw I think it renders in real time instead of pre-rendered or whatever. But I didn't watch really anything. I've seen a few little clips of it side by sides, but and it's just like I thought it had come out. I knew it existed. I just didn't know it was just releasing. Well, then you got
Yeah, they just
you know
released it. So talk about like back to backs of like just once you
with the
play
Horizon
what are you doing?
remaster.
What are you doing? What are you doing?
You got this. You
You
got The
know?
Last of Us Part
The
Two.
Last
You
of Us
know,
Part 2 remastered and
Yeah, this is
what are
and
you
bad.
it's
doing?
just like, honestly, I really want that 30th anniversary PS5 Slim. I was gonna get it. I was gonna try to get it anyway when Best Buy, I think on the 10th, they do their pre-orders. The only reason I would do it is just for financial gain. I would keep it sealed and not try
Yeah.
to scalp it right away, but just let its value go up and sell it someday. That's the only reason I'd even consider looking at the pre-order now. It's just so disappointing. I mean, yeah, they
Yeah.
had some good games this year for sure. I mean, not just the ones they made, but just they published and released some exclusives that have been good this year. But it's just too many. There's too many for no reason.
Yeah.
Ghost of
Spread this
Yotai,
shit out, yeah.
like Ghost of Yotai, that could be November next year if it even makes it out 2025. What else do you got?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Yeah,
I mean, Wolverine's probably more than likely going to be out, but
maybe. I feel like they would have already said 2025 in that case if Wolverine was
Yeah,
supposed to be out.
I thought we'd see Wolverine at the last
Yeah.
state of play or something. Something.
So I'm just
Yeah.
like, man, I don't know. And
It's bizarre, yeah.
here's the thing, I'm not
Yeah,
going to get
it's a
mad
game I
about
really
that.
enjoy, man.
Here's the
I
thing
enjoy Until Dawn a lot.
that people get mad about that I guess I don't usually put on my business cap, but when it comes to, oh, they delisted the original version. Well, no shit. You're not going to have two versions of the same game on the store for people to choose from. You're going to want the new version.
Us as Nintendo fans know about that shit.
I'm just
We
like,
know
I don't
about
see
it.
a problem
Yeah.
with that. I mean,
No, I see a problem because in the end of the day, like with Ghost of Tsushima, right? They probably did with the other, but like Ghost of Tsushima, remember it was like here's Ghost of Tsushima, you could pick it up on PS5, and all of a sudden they announced this deluxe director's cut or whatever, and they removed the ability to get there. Now you have to pay $70
you
director's
can't
cut
you
on-
can't upgrade to the
on-
PS4 version anymore, you're saying?
for new people. For new people, like people who are literally just going to buy Ghost of Tsushima
Well-
on the PS5, they go, okay, let me get the PS5.
I think you're
You gotta
remembering
go-
that wrong because the PS5 version is the director's cut. It's the only version.
Mhm.
No, but even you can
PC.
still buy PS4 games on PS5
Oh,
through the
yeah.
store.
But
So
again,
they removed that ability to just get Ghost of Tsushima. Now you have to get Ghost of Tsushima director's cut, and it's like,
No, that's on PS4 too, ain't it? I thought I saw it on PS4.
oh, I think
the
that's on
director's
PS5,
did,
the
did they
director's
release a
cut.
PS4? I know you
Let me
could
look it up. I
upgrade.
thought it was on PS4.
But either
look it
way,
up, hold on.
like that's where it just doesn't bother
Regardless,
me.
imagine to remove that ability to only get the director's cut, so you have to pay $70 for that.
Is
If
that-
they made it $70 just to make it
It's on
$70?
PS4 too.
Yeah, they did that.
But
I'm
again,
looking-
I
I'm
don't have
looking
a
at it right
problem
now.
if you're getting rid of the old version. I mean, if I have a problem more with them re-releasing games, remasters and stuff. But once you
Director's
do,
Cut is on PS4.
you can't have the old version on there too. You can't have two versions on the store, in my opinion. I don't.
Yeah,
I
that's
get.
not even
I don't get mad
but
about
my
that.
thing is, it's not even like an old version. That's just the base version. Now you are
But the
forced to buy
PS5, you're talking PS5 or PS4?
It's the same thing. If you from day one had the ability since 2020 to buy Ghost of Tsushima, now they remove the ability. You have to buy this director's cut. For what, bro? You had it on there. It's right there. Let me just purchase it. But you
So
could upgrade
there's
director's
only the
cut.
director's cut available digitally.
Yeah, that
That's
doesn't make any
weird.
sense. That's like if they,
Again,
for any like
I mean, how many
Just
years?
imagine-
To me, that doesn't even tickle me at
it's
all
honestly,
the
it's
wrong
not,
way.
but it's not even like it's literally, it's like there, it's been there, and to just remove it, so new owners have to pay $70.
I think what they're trying to do
$70.
at some point, maybe it's stupid, but at some point you have to be like, all right, we got to push for the PS5 games. Like we can't just. I mean, people have been complaining about it for years.
That sounds good, but when half your fan base
Yeah, I know,
is still
but
on the
at some point you
PS4,
just gotta like, hey,
So we got to push for PS5 games. So let's remove this PS4 game to release the PS4 game with the director's cut label, so they pay $10 more. So they're paying as if it's a new title of $70. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's a stupid thing.
That's not why Nintendo did it. They weren't like, oh, all these Wii U people need to come over to the Switch. They didn't do that shit. They didn't do it for that. They did it because they wanted to make more goddamn money, and that's why Sony's
they
doing
did
it.
it.
They want
Yeah, and people are like,
more
oh,
money.
like I said, I just don't care. Get rid of the original Horizon when the remaster comes out. Yeah, for people that have it, obviously it's still there. They can still download it.
And
But
it sucks because that dude was sitting there at $20, and
And
all
it's
of a
like-
sudden
That's
you
what
can't
I'm
buy that.
saying. They're doing that on purpose, man. Like
Yeah.
that's
but
annoying to me.
again, how I can't see the sense in having two versions on the store at that
But it's-
point.
And luckily,
At
you
this
have an
point.
option. Just go buy the physical one. Hopefully, you have a physical based PS5. Just go buy the physical one and upgrade if you want for $10.
But there's a difference
at least
between
there's
the
an
two
option.
versions of Ghost of Tsushima, especially like those
Yeah, I
type of
get
games
it.
where it's like it's essentially just DLC, right? So if you're
Yeah,
like
it's
a
DLC.
if you're a new guy coming in, like, oh, I've been planning to buy Ghost of Tsushima, now you're paying as if it's a brand new game at $70, and that's the only ability you have is to buy this game. Instead of just buying it even at 60 or 50, you have to buy it at $70 as if it's a brand
you
new
don't have
PS5
to.
game. But it's not.
No.
It's not. It's just Ghost of
You just
Tsushima.
say,
With
I ain't
this-
buying that shit and don't buy it.
You know what I'm saying? But that's why.
Yeah, I guess.
think
I
it's-
mean, there are some examples where games have a regular version and the deluxe version. They could make it more. They could have made it like
That's
that.
all it is. It's a deluxe version, and now they have the ability where it's like, okay, you only have the deluxe version. Imagine if these NBAs one day they're like, oh yeah, you can only buy the digital version is only $99 and that's it. What?
I mean,
Dude,
it could just be
and
a
I'm sure
business
that's gonna
decision.
happen.
People will be like, "Hey, no
They're
one's
all
buying the
doing that.
director's cut. Everyone's buying the base version. Let's
They're all doing it
take-
when they remaster or remake some of the game. Like
let's take the decision
uh,
away."
they get rid of the old one. Rockstar did it with Grand Theft Auto, which
And I don't
sucks
think
because
that's right,
the newer
because
ones were
the
shitty. The newer version sucked ass.
Yeah,
So that kind of sucks.
Exactly. Yeah,
that's
that's what I'm
true.
saying.
If
It
the
needed
new
to be-
version's got a major issue or is missing something that you like, yeah. But
Yeah.
again, I don't have much sympathy for people 10 years, 7 years later, whatever. I know Ghost of Tsushima wasn't that long ago. That was 2020, but
Go download that shit. For
and it's
free,
like,
cuz.
oh, you're complaining now? Like, why didn't you buy it in the like for like GTA? Like, yeah, it sucks.
The guy who's playing 2020.
I know it sucks, but at the same
Yeah,
time, it's like,
Your fault. You should have waited
are
so
you
long,
really
homie.
mad? Like, you've been able to play this game for 10 years, and now they took it away and put the new version. Now you're mad. Like, yeah, principle of it's stupid, but at the same time, if you wanted to, Ghost of Tsushima is a little harder because it's more recent. But like,
Well, there is the price to pay for being.
less.
There's a price to pay for being the first buyer, for the early buyer, and there's a price to pay for being the late buyer.
Mhm.
There's just, you buy shit early. Sometimes that shit fail. You get red rings of deaths and all kind of shit, or you need patches for the game that you bought. It's all terrible, which is
Yeah.
a sad state. It's a sad state that you can't even get a complete fucking game at launch and shit half the time. But
That's why I
Uh,
like. That's why I like when they,
that's why I wait. I just wait. I wait.
When it comes
I
to
would
these remasters
keep
and stuff,
again.
that's why I don't like having it just as the only option. Because in the end of the day, like as someone who is going back to play these older games and stuff, like I would rather play the
By
original.
the time you
game.
play it, it's gonna be $40, $30 anyway. By
No,
the
no,
time
no,
you get to it,
No, yeah, no, I get what you're saying in terms of these
Yeah.
building.
I get it
No,
for
but I mean, like, I'm talking about games from like 10, 15 years ago, where it's like you remove the ability to buy these
Yeah.
older games. I want to play the original version, and it's like there's 7 bazillion games out there. I'm going to get there at some point, but it's
Well,
like
there's
no
a way to
reason
do
to
that, my
remove-
friend. It's called emulation.
Yeah, I know, but-
if you really want to, just emulate that biz. If they want to be
But
like that,
I think about, and I know we're not even going to be essentially alive at this point, but I'm thinking about the people that are going to be 20. We're talking like 2090, and we're like it's like, and it's like 20.
I can't even
100,
understand that far.
40, right? And then these people can't even. It's all digital shit, and they can't go back to buy all these original stuff anymore.
yeah,
like,
it's only
damn,
a problem because
original
it's PS4. It's because they're backwards compatible. If we're talking, they delisted a PS3 game. Well, that doesn't exist because they already delisted it. The system
Right.
it hasn't been manufactured in forever. They don't make games. They don't make new games anymore. But because these games I wouldn't say they're still they're not manufacturing physical copies of the regular Ghost of Tsushima anymore,
Mm-mm.
but the digital one, yeah. Um, it's only because it's the previous generation that they're doing for these games. If they
And if it's digital, you can't. If you're upset about the digital one, I don't care anyway, because y'all motherfuckers are ruining the planet. You're ruining gaming anyway by buying all this digital shit.
I mean, it's so sad going to Best Buy and looking at the physical sections
You're
for games,
ruining
and
gaming, and it's sad. It's sad to me.
I went.
Here's the thing. I don't understand. As a person who loves physical media, right? I don't say, there shouldn't be any digital. Who cares? But for the digital only dudes, say that about physical. Like, you can have your shit. Why can't I have mine? Like, I want to be able to have my shit too. Like, that's what drives me insane. Some of these digital only dudes are like, oh, that's old. We don't need that anymore. It's like, do you know what you're giving up? All these price cuts you're getting right now is because of physical. The minute they have control of this shit, they're gonna be Nintendo out this bitch. This shit will never drop.
They'll do like temporary like sales. I mean, Sony's pretty good about sales on the PlayStation Store.
Again, you're speaking from this time period we're in right now. When it becomes full digital and they have complete control of their stores and shit, you'll be lucky to see price drops on this shit. I doubt you'll see it very often. So be careful what you want. Be careful what you wish for.
And I know guys in the home theater who they don't want movies on a shelf somewhere. They want a lot of them. Unfortunately,
that's fine.
They pirate them. But there are guys. I know this guy lives.
That makes no sense to me. How can you be a home theater guy and pirate movies?
There's this guy lives 45 minutes from me, and we've been
all that goddamn money, but you can't buy the movie.
Well, then because they put it on there. They're not NAS server. And they get their NVIDIA Shield, which runs something that no other thing runs, and it allows them to play those, whether it's technically ripped from a disc, but they get it without buying the movie. Not everybody. Some people just buy the disc and then they rip it, and it takes like 40 minutes to do the process. And then they do that so that they can open this menu and have their library on screen, and just like people with digital libraries, and then they can just scroll down and pick a movie and watch it, and then they can leave it on a scene and they can get out, and then it gets right back in, zoomed in. I get it. There's some convenience to it, but
it's so empty. That feels so empty to me as a consumer of media. To just it's a digital file on a computer. It's dead. It's so dead.
I
had that in my hand before Best Buy stopped selling physical. I had that in my hand. I walked around. I'll watch it. I walked around the store with it. It was like $10. I was like, I'm only watch this once. I'll probably never watch it again. I'm not gonna buy it.
Great movie.
But I used to go to Best Buy for hours and just go through the DVDs, and I'd walk out with a handful or armful. And that was DVD where my mom was buying movies. Like everybody I knew was buying movies, buying TV shows. And then Netflix came out, the damn streaming, and changed everything. And now it's like, man, I look at TVs at Best Buy, and I looked at some PC stuff, and I'm like, man, I got nothing else to do in here. Like I really can't spend more than like 20 minutes in there now, and I used to spend hours.
Damn.
So, but either way, it sucks that Sony's re-releasing games. It's just like.
Well, I'm guessing Until Dawn's not on the store anymore, right?
What's to be excited about? Like legit, what are you looking forward to that is coming 2025 as Sony PS5?
Just the Ghost of Yotai for me.
Is that next year? Is that
hopefully that makes it next year?
I mean, I think I'm slightly looking, not looking forward, but I'm slightly curious about the Lego Horizon game. I'm gonna see what people say about it when it comes out.
You start playing and realize, it's a Lego game.
If it's just the basic Lego game shit still, then I don't care. But I mean, at least it's something different. It's the same IP though that we've had a lot of.
It's a weird pick for a Lego game. It's so weird.
Yeah, because
this is weird. See, this makes no sense. Dawn 2015 is still on the well maybe it's because I'm on my phone. I wonder if you're gonna go on that PS5 store. It's there, but that makes sense. Yeah, it's the PS app, right? So technically that would connect to PS4 still.
Mhm.
Anyway, all right. So maybe it's I don't know, but it's on there for $20
It's
instead of paying
legit crazy
$60.
to me. It's legit crazy.
That's one of the
that
more.
they're just re-releasing or remastering shit from last generation.
And it's like
a console. It was like that. Like
It's
that
'cause-
bitch was a Sega Saturn or the Dreamcast
Yeah.
or some shit. It's a console that a lot of people bought.
Yeah. And it's
Like,
like
what?
maybe it's still costing them money, but it's definitely less.
Again, Wii U. Nintendo can say, "Oh, well, a lot of people didn't buy this, and you can't play Wii U games on a Switch anyway." Again, if you want to give them excuses, there's some legitimate excuses.
It was the
Yeah.
full price that always bugged
But
me, but
PS4 is yeah, obviously it's full price. But I'm saying, even with it being full price, you have those excuses. It's like, well, a lot of these people never paid full price for this game. There's only 13.5 million Wii U's out there. So we have excuses to why we could put this shit out again and actually make money this time. But PlayStation have no excuse for that shit. PS4.
that was the point of backwards compatibility was
remasters,
to
Yeah,
and
eliminate
it's
this.
backwards compatible. Like,
And they did it. They like nailed the backwards compatibility. It's so flawless in its execution. It's like that should be celebrated, not let's
yeah,
keep
unlike Wii to
re-releasing
Wii
games.
U, that was a whole.
Now,
You have to
I
go
don't-
to a whole nother segment, a whole nother module to play Wii U games or Wii games.
At this point, it's like what's left? They did the Uncharted games. They did what they did Until
just-
Dawn. They did Horizon.
Well, they did the
Just-
2. They did
Last-
4 and Lost Legacy. It's like, oh, where's the? Why not do the?
Yeah, Days Gone,
Why not do the
that's a roll.
PS3 games and give them a full remake instead
Right.
of, you know?
Because you like, even if you have the PlayStation Now, whatever it's called, like the PS3 games are like stream only, right? Aren't there's only you can only stream them shits. So yeah, do those. That would be more acceptable. We get it. The architecture completely different, and it's a pain in the ass to try to like have it backwards compatible. Remaster those. I mean, you did it once already with Horizon, not Horizon.
Yeah, those.
Last of Us. Last of Us is a PS3 game that you put on PS4. So do that instead.
Robert, you're muted.
You muted like a mug.
Still muted. There you go. No, you're still muted.
No, I don't hear anything.
What'd you do?
Is your mic sleeping? Is it? Nope.
Yeah, we don't hear you. I don't have you muted. Oh,
There
wait,
you go.
I thought I heard you.
Can
Yeah.
you hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just clicked the turn off, and turn on. Weird.
Maybe.
No, but they
Might
did.
be
But T, you forget they did the Nathan Drake collection. Literally, like
Oh yeah, and Uncharted. I forgot about that.
They did it on
So they
PS. They did it from PS3 to PS4.
PS4, right?
yeah.
But I mean, it wasn't a.
PS4 to PS5.
Yeah, but it wasn't a. It wasn't. It didn't look like Uncharted 4. They just cleaned up. It was a remaster.
Yeah,
you know,
for sure.
they didn't just. They didn't
Oh,
rebuild
we
the
gonna
game.
give all the Naughty Dog games. I mean, let them
But-
just make a new game. Like,
Here's the thing.
But nobody wants that at this point, though. Nobody wants
Yeah.
Uncharted,
No,
even remakes.
they'll probably do
at this
those
point.
though.
Now you
I'm
gotta
fine.
do it.
Like, here's the thing. I'm perfectly fine with Blue Point doing like a full ground up awesome remake every 3-4 years. That's what they do. They're really good at it. The last one, Demon Souls in 2020, was amazing. I can't
Yeah.
wait to see what the next one they're gonna
How about
do.
Bloodborne?
Bloodborne, whatever they do, I'm excited for it. And it sucks because this is gonna kind of diminish that excitement because there's just so many remasters and shit coming out.
Yeah.
But I'm cool with them doing 1 or 2 per generation with the studio because they do a really good job and
But
they stay.
remaster all these games nobody wants, and the one they want, they won't remaster that.
Yeah.
much.
Like
Like,
Bloodborne,
what?
like I said,
Weird.
I know I didn't Clacked didn't react to it, so maybe he didn't watch the podcast, but like that's the one that visually I think could use the most
ugly
out of
game.
PS4 games.
Okay.
You know,
It's ugly, bro. I'm sorry.
there's
Exactly.
some there's some parts that like I said, the architecture and the world they create is great, but like the texture work and stuff is pretty low quality.
Nightmare Creatures on PS1, like I said.
But like yeah, there's opportunities to bring some games back. Like I wouldn't mind a MotorStorm remake, even though because I prefer the original. I like it in the mud. I like the physics of it and stuff. I didn't care for the more arcadiness of the second one, and I didn't play the third one. You know, there's a few games out there I'm cool with, but you know,
Gravity Rush.
that doesn't. Maybe the first game had a
It did a
remaster from PSP or Vita to
PSP,
PS4, and
Yeah.
then I mean, that would be one that should have got a PS4 Pro upgrade, never did. Like that and Bloodborne never got.
They don't care because
They never got any upgrades or anything. It's like I'd love to play that at 60 FPS. Like, that's some of the little things they could do, and it's just they did that for some of these games. They do it, then they do the PS5 version still. Like, it's just stupid. And
What does Mohammed talk about?
Muhammad,
I know Muhammad's
You know,
in there now.
He be coming in here just talking
Random bullshit.
remember what was it? The last thing he was
The
hyping
Mario
up all
game.
these. He's listed all these
100 times.
Microsoft games.
Well, we're
And-
talking about
Mario
Sony.
game.
I was like, it's the Switch too. Well,
Yeah,
we didn't even say anything.
What have we gotten? 2 Mario games? in the
Somebody
last
brought it-
generation?
You're literally
9
about
years?
to release a brand new Mario and Luigi game, not a
Yeah.
re-release of a
Mhm.
Mario and
Oh,
Luigi game.
I forgot. People like him count those as Mario games too. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
he's
Oh,
he
yeah.
literally.
Mario RPG, that's a
Why are we
Mario
giving
game.
him attention? I don't know, but he literally says that he couldn't ever see himself sitting in a room by himself playing a Mario game. So
Who's this?
Muhammad.
But he was on here capping for Power World.
Yeah.
Get the fuck out of here. Are you still capping for it
Yeah.
now that it's on PS5? That's what I want to know. Right?
Yeah.
It was on his
No,
list
he-
of
for
games for. But other than that, T, I watched your video while I was driving. I had to go make a run at work, and I put it on, and I
yeah,
seen
did-
somebody in
did
the chat.
Pretty well. I was surprised.
Somebody in the chat, the only comment I left because I waited till I was done driving, but I had to go right back in, so I couldn't comment further. But he listed the small jumps like Game Boy to Game Boy Color, and then what was it, GameCube to Wii, I think.
Yeah.
And I was like, well, I'd put
It's not as
Wii.
small as you think.
I'd put Wii U to Switch in with
Oh.
that group. I think that jumps similar. Yeah, maybe.
Yeah.
Well, Wii U to Switch is definitely.
I think
smaller.
Switch adds
Yeah, that's
some advanced
true.
features, but because of the low resolutions in some of these games, you don't really feel it. And it went from a lot of 60 not a lot, but I mean a good amount of 60 FPS games on Wii U to a reduced amount on Switch. So
I
that
think it's amazing that you can put a fucking Wii U in a handheld.
Yeah.
That's
the Switch
and
in
with the
handheld is
generation.
basically a Wii U. I mean,
yeah.
Yeah.
when it boils down to it. And I think, unfortunately for Nintendo, the times they did their
In 2017. by the way.
times they did
In
the
2017.
Yeah. The times they did their two biggest, well, not two biggest, but some of their biggest leaps were some of their biggest failures, GameCube and Wii U. But N64 was you can't really get a larger leap than 2D sprites to 3D worlds.
Yeah.
It's hard to quantify that. And again, that was 32 million sold or something.
33.
They,
Roughly. It's 32.9 something.
yeah, it wasn't
33 almost.
huge hits for that. I wouldn't blame them as long as they had a new concept, but you can't do another Switch and have it be a minor jump. It has to be, it can't be a minor graphical jump or technological jump and be the same form factor. You just, to me, that would be a.
It has to be. I don't say has to be. That's one thing. I would like it to be, at the very least, N64 to GameCube type of jump. You know what I mean? And not a, I don't know. I guess GameCube to Wii.
It's gonna be hard to visually. It could be 3 times as powerful, on specs.
Well, frame rate
That-
is one way you can quantify
Yeah,
it.
but that doesn't necessarily immediately say, man, that looks that much. That doesn't look 3 times better. You need twice the performance, or just to get double the frame rate at the same visuals. So to get better visuals and better, I mean, it's got to be significantly more powerful. So I'm kind of tempering my expectations a bit, because it could be they could put everything in it that's available to them in a $400 to $500 price range, and we still might not look like. There's going to be people that say, wow, it's not that big of a jump from Tears of the Kingdom to this Zelda game, or maybe it will be. I don't know. I mean, but
Well, I think the benefit with Nintendo is that they're always doing different art styles,
Mhm.
so that's what's gonna be the drastic difference. You know what I'm saying? So it's not like we're comparing again the Last of Us Part 2 or like Uncharted 4 to Naughty Dog's next game. You know, it's like we're comparing look at what Skyward Sword looks like, and look at what Echoes of Wisdom looks
Yeah.
like. They're two completely different art
Right.
styles,
Right.
Well,
different.
when T and
So-
Sandstorm were over, we went from, I feel like we went from Switch to PS5. Did I show you anything else? Maybe it wasn't with you guys. There was a time I went from Switch directly to PS5. It might have been when you guys were here, might not have. And I'm like, I didn't feel the difference. Like, I didn't like go like, wow, like this feels like so
I'm
much.
blown away.
Like,
Yeah.
And so
That's
that's
just a lot of diminishing returns with
yeah,
gaming.
that's
in
why it's
general
going to be
anyway.
really hard, and there might
Yeah,
be
I mean,
some people
yeah, I mean,
disappointed.
I think at this point, especially like when you start to get into the hardware of like PS5 and stuff like that, and I think Nintendo is about to start to creep into that territory is where when you start doing art styles that are not realism, you're gonna always hit like again, realism is always there's gonna be that sort of like effect where like yeah, it's not that major difference, but it just depends on how you create a different art styles. What's gonna really make it that different factor, and that's what's gonna make.
Because I
it
think
really cool.
Astrobot looks fantastic, but at the same time, I feel like I feel like they should have pushed it further. Like, I don't know, maybe they just needed Lock 60 no matter what. There's some pretty giant encounters and boss fights and stuff, but I feel like that one was kind
Also,
of
there's like they do the 1,000 rocks, they'll do.
yeah, and they have all
you know,
the bots
1,000
following you. I just feel like that one could have put the PS5 was barely even working with that game.
Well, I think a lot of developers would be excited to resell their games because it's on a portable, system where you got this. You're gonna get a Switch like setup with a PS4 Pro to Xbox Series S power capability. It's like, oh yeah, you can actually put the games we wanted to put on Switch. We can put them on Switch too. All the games you probably already played on the other consoles already, and they'll just.
Yeah,
I think they'll
I
get
mean-
a lot of like support based on that alone.
Yeah, just like Resident Evil 4 or
Right.
2 remake compared to what the Switch is doing with games of that. Yeah, it's gonna be a huge jump if they can
Yeah.
get close to
Yeah,
that.
that'll be a jump for sure. Well, but that's what I'm saying is I think we're very much at that point where developers could do whatever they really want to do visually at this point. If it's not realism, you could do all crazy, amazing art styles, crazy thing. Like there's no limit almost at this point. It's just if you're trying to really push for the realism, then yeah, maybe there's some things that might not quite get there. But that's why they all look so similar when you push for realism. But when it comes to art styles, like that's what's going to make it that wow factor, and that's why games on Switch, when you look at Mario Kart 8 or on Wii U, technically, it looks you put that in one up any other game, it still looks fantastic. So it's just art style is king, man, and that's what they just gotta continue to focus on, and that's what's going to really push the make it us go wow, and what they could
But
do with that art style.
like somebody
Maybe
said,
more foliage.
Dude is on a tear in the.
but it's
in the
like
chat.
Scarf Tail pointed out, it's been an 8-year. It's gonna be 8+ years. There should be a significant gap in visuals. There should be a significant leap.
It was quote unquote underpowered when it came out, so
Mhm.
it's gonna be.
There's
a
really
jump.
no excuse. I honestly, and then to finish off that point about your video, I think there's no way it's below $400. I don't see Nintendo.
Well, what do you think? You think it will be?
I think it's
400
$399 minimum. I don't know if they'll go
minimum.
more, but I just with the cost of everything like GPUs and stuff. I mean,
I was thinking $399 minimum.
I think that's a fair price compared
what I
to
was
Steam
saying
Deck and
is,
stuff.
I wouldn't mind paying
I mean,
$499.
I'm in a
if that
position where I
was really strong.
would gladly pay $500 for like just an amazing spec system with Nintendo's name on it, seeing the games,
Yeah,
like
like what's the new handhelds, PC handhelds? You have Legion Go, you have Steam Deck, and what's the other one? I always forget.
they
the
got
other
the ROG X just came
one. ROG
out.
Ally. Yeah, so the X, what is it?
ROG Ally X.
Ally
I
X,
think.
Ally, yeah, Ally X.
That's
That is
$750, I think.
that's a pretty good jump over something like the Steam Deck. That's a pretty strong leap, if you will, over the Steam Deck, which is a lot cheaper. So I don't know what. Again, that's what I was talking about in my video. Like, you got to pay for licensing, Windows, and shit like that. What do you do when you don't have to pay for all that stuff, and you're getting a deal with Nvidia, right? They have so how much cheaper could they make something that would be, maybe not as powerful?
Yeah, it
as
doesn't
the
have to be as
LAX,
powerful
but
since it's going to be proprietary. Games will be built just for it.
right, it's
And
not a PC and it's not optimized to run Windows and shit.
yeah, because
So
I
you
was
can,
using the X at Best Buy on the display and trying. I mean, it was a 7-inch screen. Trying to
yeah,
navigate the little demo, the Windows. Yeah, you can
yeah.
hit a button and they only had the Forza Horizon 4 demo. That's all they had.
Microsoft needs to get on
And it's like
making
this.
those has to get on making Windows handheld gaming accessible.
Because I
That's the
use it for
problem.
5 minutes and I'm like, I'm not gonna mess
It's
with this. I mean, it
yeah.
looks nice. It's comfortable. I mean, what I think it's 750 or 799. I can't remember.
It might be 799 because the my Legion Go is 750.
Jesus. So yeah, the
Yeah,
Switch 2 is gonna have to be 400 minimum, I think.
yeah.
Um, but something I was thinking about, we're talking about visuals and stuff. For me, like Astrobot, my favorite levels were the cube based ones where everything was made out of little cubes, like the trees. It looked like a Minecraft almost type of thing. And like I could see that level of visuals or whatever with some awesome ray trace lighting and stuff that could take, honestly, that to me makes more of a difference than making the most realistic looking games, like with the most photorealistic visuals. I would rather see cube based objects, everything built out of little cubes, and this most realistic
Yeah.
lighting and reflections and stuff. To me, that would wow. Like, what's that voxel based destruction game where you like drive through buildings and it all crumbles? It's
Oh,
been on PC forever.
yeah. I think it's wreck
And they released it on PS5, I think.
air down, wreck down.
Something like that. To me, that game looks amazing. Like, that's like Echoes of Wisdom looks great. Imagine
Yeah,
that.
tear down.
Like, imagine that, and then they actually can just keep the same level of art, same level of polygons, and just throw the most advanced lighting, water effects, reflections. Like, I think that would look awesome. It would look even more like a real diorama. I mean, that's to me is where the visual leap can really impress versus just trying to make super realistic looking. Um, I
You
want,
can tell who the non-Nintendo fans are when they bring up the Zelda demo from 2014.
yeah.
Like that was some peak fucking.
That
Go back and
level,
watch
I
that
always
video.
think a level-headed gamer when, cause he loved that Wii U demo, man.
It
He,
was like, what? What are
he,
y'all watching? What am I not seeing?
I mean, that was an impressive looking demo, though.
Yeah,
yeah.
in 2014.
I mean, I think
It doesn't look
pretty sure
too
we
bad
saw it.
now. We looked at it not
Yeah,
that
I
long
thought it
ago.
still
I
looked
watched
really
it
good.
recently. I don't think
Yeah.
it looked that
I
great.
mean,
I remember. I thought we saw it recently.
it's
And I was like, okay, that's pretty good.
and that was
Animation
off-screen
wise, it
footage
looked
though.
pretty
That
good.
was off-screen. There's no direct feed of that. It's all off-screen.
Animation wise, it looked good, but
Some of
it
the
was
lighting and
color,
reflections.
barely had any color.
But again, it's
Looked like you had
off-screen.
But yeah, but
like
those
he had
reflections,
hairy
they
hair
would
on his
not be able to be
face.
done
Yeah,
on
He
a
looked,
Wii U and
he looked like a
stuff.
teddy bear face. He had hairy face and some shit.
yeah.
Something was off with the graphics to me.
I wouldn't mind Zelda being Dark Souls to be a little retro. I'd love a dodge roll in a Zelda game.
Oh, just a dodge roll.
No, no
Yeah.
thanks.
No,
thank you.
you guys know I love Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom. I mean, the combat's definitely
But
fun.
he does
But-
technically. I know it's not the same, but he dodges.
Against
He
Ganon,
jumps, he
there's a
dodges,
little bit of
he
that
rolls.
feel in the Tears of the Kingdom final
You know,
boss.
he that's how you do your
But
flurry rush.
I
man.
will
You
say,
dodge,
I do
jump.
like the flurry rush and stuff, but in comparison to the year I played 3 From Software games in the same year, like
Yeah.
totaled like almost 300 hours. And then I went back to Breath of the Wild. I'm a little bit, all right, just the side scroll, jump left, jump right. It does feel a little stiff and not as dynamic, I guess. So just me personally, I wouldn't mind, like, even that they said, fuck it, we're just going to make a Dark Souls style Zelda game with that same kind of, not, you don't need to die and have to gain all your stuff, just the kind of the combat, because I really like,
Just the feeling of it, the
I really
control
like,
and the
yeah,
movement.
it's almost like
movement.
Monster Hunter. I haven't played
did
a
an
lot of
info
Monster Hunter,
game.
but watching people play Monster Hunter, you have to time your attacks, time your dodges and stuff. Like, I wouldn't mind that for a Zelda game, to be honest.
I wouldn't want. I don't know.
Make it a
Monster Hunter
spin-off
feels
game
bullshit.
starring Impa or something.
Yeah, not so much animation based as the Monster Hunter series, but hey, I want a heavy attack. It's going to take a little longer. I'm going to risk it. You know, that I'm gonna do a
I
quick
want
attack.
you retro. I don't want fucking Link feeling all heavy
Yeah.
and clunky and shit.
Yeah, no, I don't. I mean,
Feel like
I don't
feel like
particularly agree,
Monster
but
Hunter
I
or some
mean,
shit. No, no thanks.
They don't feel clunky if you have the right build. But if you
well, that's you know what they need to do. You want to feel it? They need a 3D Donkey Kong action game. That's what they need to
Yeah.
have. So he's heavy,
Yeah.
to, roll
Imagine-
like that.
Give me
okay.
that. I'll take that.
we're
That
talking
could
about
be cool.
we're talking about graphical leaps. Forget like just pure visuals. Imagine just the most amazing animation on a 3D Donkey Kong with the hair flowing, like and some some good lighting and stuff. It can look
Be awesome.
basically the art style could be similar to like Echoes of Wisdom. It could have that because that has almost like the original Donkey Kong Country kind of look to it. Like
No, I
You know?
I mean, I don't.
But-
think I'd want that. From
yeah, but not
I
as
get what you're saying.
I just mean the general aesthetic, not trees being solid. They can still have like
Yeah, yeah.
individual
Yeah, okay, I get you.
textures and branches and leaves and stuff, but just seeing something in a more artistic style, just him with the most amazing animations and stuff like that.
And then
that
you
to me
give
would
him
be
that
awesome.
heavy feeling.
Yeah.
There you go. You got
And
your,
the-
then
yeah,
he
the
does his
physics,
action,
the momentum based physics and stuff like
Yeah.
that would be awesome. I would love that.
Well, maybe that's
So
what they
we're
need.
probably not
You
getting
wanna-
that.
Yeah,
There you go. They need to mash up the feeling of Dark Souls with.
they're gonna
Donkey
do
Kong.
it. They're gonna do a 3D world like
Roll.
8 directions.
Souls.
Donkey Kong's gonna have 8 directions, and when you hold left, he's just gonna turn kind of very video gamey and
What
not
the
have
fuck?
animations.
This guy is literally. I don't. At the same time, I'm saying shit. He's saying it too. Like retros. I mentioned Monster Hunter, and he had just typed it in, and I just
Yeah,
said
Monster.
Donkey Souls, and he
Mhm.
put Donkey Souls. Like that's
Yeah.
weird. We're simpatico, man.
So I mean, I remember when the N64 was announced, and I saw a teaser for Turok Dinosaur Hunter. I've told this story many times. In my mind, I envisioned
that was real. That was real.
sneaking through pushing leaves like in a jungle, pushing branches out of the way, crouching, having the sounds of the jungle and seeing a raptor in the grass. And in my mind, it was beyond the level of visuals we have now. Like I was envisioning like what we
Real life.
better than what we have now. Like it's
Yeah.
crazy. And to this day,
Yeah, again, this is what I always talk about. You can't explain that shit to somebody today or somebody who's younger. That shit looked real to me. That was
Mhm.
realistic graphics when I saw Turok. You look at that shit and laugh today,
Yeah.
obviously. But that was like, oh
I
my
get
god, look
that, I
how
get that.
good
I
that
get
shit
that.
looks. I was like, how graphics gonna get better than this? And clearly
Yeah.
they did.
Well, I
But
remember
that was
immediately
amazing for
kind
us
of
back in the
feeling a
day.
little off about the fog and stuff. Like, wow, this isn't. I was impressed, but I was like, what's
Yeah.
with this fog? Like, it's kind of weird. But I didn't know it was a limitation to the hardware. It was hiding.
Right.
draw
I thought it was
distance.
atmosphere.
Mhm. I never
was
beat that
atmospheric
game. That
fog,
was on
man.
my list of games that I own that I never
You
finished.
never beat Turok.
I don't even know if I had the memory
All three of
card.
them motherfuckers.
I got lost at one point in like this. I don't know if it was,
Notice
like,
I
this
said
big
all
circle.
three, and
Did
that
ya?
when that came out, Xbox is trash. I never touched that thing.
Mm. So I
yeah,
I would
Rock
need to
1,
get a
2, 3.
memory pack in order to try to like beat it now if I didn't get like the Switch version or something. If I wanted to play the original N64 and beat it someday.
Oh, there's so many options now. You don't have to go get a garbage ass memory pack. There's like new options today where you can basically save every game you want on some third party
Mhm.
shit that somebody made today.
What about the remaster, the Turok?
I'd probably just
remaster?
get that, but
Don't do that. Don't do
No?
it.
Why is
Don't
that?
do it. It's
Why-
clean. But again,
it'd probably feel better.
Oh, okay.
It'd probably
Yeah,
feel
yeah.
It
better.
don't look right. To
The
me.
remake
It
would
doesn't
probably feel way
right.
better with the dual analogs to me.
It's
It
too clean.
does. Technically, it feels
I
better.
have the Turok.
Again, you're talking about a guy who rinsed and beat all three of them
Yeah.
bitches on N64, so maybe that's just a me problem. But I tried to play the remasters. I got them. I bought them. But they just don't feel right. They
Speaking
don't
of
look
Donkey
right to me.
Kong, I see your yellow cartridge up there behind you.
Oh yeah, that's not Donkey Kong.
That's not?
Smash Remix though.
Oh,
Oh,
isn't
okay,
wasn't DK yellow though?
Yeah, DK's yellow.
Yeah.
I have it. It's over there though.
Yeah.
But there was only 2 games that were yellow. You know the other one? DK's one. This
Well,
is
let me
this
guess,
is obviously a
let me guess.
repro.
Let me guess.
Was it a Pokemon?
You probably never guess. You'll probably never guess. I mean, I'll
Was
actually,
it
I'll
developed?
say
Was
if you
it
want-
published by Nintendo or no?
No,
Okay.
it's a third-party game.
Clay Fighters.
Nope. Actually, it's behind me. You can't really see it. Yeah, it's
No.
too high. Maybe it's right. Oh yeah, it's in the shot. It's barely in the. Or maybe not. I can't tell.
I wonder if I somehow have it. I doubt I do.
God, I made it
I
big.
only have Donkey Kong 64.
Yeah, it's right there.
Um,
It's see there's a red cart, and then right next to Mario on Mario 64, you can see
I
a
see
red
Mario
cart.
Kart 64.
Right. You
It's-
see the box, right?
It's,
So to the right or left of that, I don't know what your angle is.
No, I can't see
Yeah,
that.
it's stack of
it's getting
cartridges.
pretty blurry. I see an amiibo
Like-
box. I can't tell what that is.
I
Make
so-
see-
me full
it's-
screen. You'll be able to see it if you make me
Is
full screen.
Sandstorm,
Yeah,
is
you are.
Sandstorm right? Because I actually think I have that game.
All right. So you see,
I already
there's a
asked
T.
Pokemon.
and to the left of him,
Oh.
you see Mario Kart box, and then right next to that, there's a red
I
cart
see
and a
GoldenEye,
yellow cart.
Mario Kart, and then it gets pretty blurry with your lights. The blue lights are really.
Oh, I can see
I
it.
can't even tell what that amiibo
I
is, dude.
can't tell.
That's weird.
No, I
Alright,
can't
well,
tell either.
The game is Earthworm Jim 3D. It's
Oh yeah,
It's trash.
that's the yellow one.
That's the yellow cart, yeah. And the red one is the first Sucker Punch game. What was that? You
Robot
mentioned- That's right.
on
Rocket
wheels.
Robot on Wheels.
Rocket robot on wheels.
Which is he's not on wheels, he's only on one wheel, so why do they call it Robot on Wheels?
Rocket
he's
on a wheel.
he's literally a unicycle. They call it Robot on Wheels. But yeah. I thought that was funny.
It's a red
Yeah.
game, huh?
That's the I don't think that's the only red card.
So did you know that the Hyrule Edition Switch Lite
Mhm.
comes
Mm-hmm.
with a Switch Online Plus expansion pass? It's $209.99. It's currently
Oh really? I didn't know that.
$209.99. Wait,
$200. It's
$200?
$210.
It's 209. Yeah, it's 210. Yeah.
It doesn't say specifically.
wait, but how, is it a
Echoes.
year? Is it a year? Is it a one day?
Probably a month or 3 months.
Probably a month. It's probably not a year.
So where?
too much
Oh, I can.
value
It
to give
is
out.
available. I don't want it, but I was just curious.
Oh, it is available. Like it's
It-
fully available.
Yeah, it's out.
I don't know how I feel about the black
Zelda.
buttons with the gold though.
Switch.
Yeah, they always do that.
Games.
I feel like they always do black
I
buttons
know.
with gold.
I don't know what other option there would be. Mario
Oh, the
and
black.
Luigi.
I kind of like that. They still got the Tears of the Kingdom edition for $344. The OLED.
Do they?
Yeah, I was hoping that should be
Dude,
more
that's
expensive.
a
right
good
now,
deal.
but it ain't.
That's the kind of stuff I'm happy to see them do for the holidays. I mean, it doesn't matter to me really, but it's like the Mario
Wait.
Kart
Why? What's a good deal?
giving you Tears of the Kingdom and the OLED.
No.
for-
You don't get the game.
Oh, you're just talking
The
about
game-
the Tears of
The
the
game's
Kingdom
not in
OLED.
there.
They did that
Yeah,
bundle.
yeah,
No,
it's not
yeah,
in the
it
game.
wasn't Tears. It
Yeah,
was
I have
Smash.
that.
Sorry, it was
I
Smash
have
last
that.
year.
The
They
game's
did-
not in there.
I didn't.
You
they
have
have
the Tears of
them?
the Kingdom? I forgot about that.
Yeah.
They have a
Yeah,
Tears of the
I have
Kingdom OLED.
It's
Yeah.
very pretty.
You want me, hold on. I'll get it.
I'm
let's
bringing
see-
it
let's
up
see
right
the-
now. I don't see the Switch
Oh wait, hold
itself.
on. We have it right here.
Is it? Is it Tears of the Kingdom or just a Zelda? Oh,
The
Where
Kingdom
did-
specifically.
where do they say it's available? Where
I
do you-
see it on Amazon.
Okay, Best Buy don't have it. They don't even show it. Nah, yep, I remember that now.
Yes, you like. I see it for. Oh, it's a Japan stock, but
Yeah, they don't have
uh,
it. Best
that's
Buy.
why it's
So
three.
there's no North American ones anymore?
No, I guess not. That's probably.
Check it
that's
out on
probably-
eBay.
Just for me, baby. This bitch gonna start going up soon.
I was a funny story when I was buying Echoes. I was kind of browsing, and that Best Buy guy came up to a couple, and he's like, "Yeah, don't." They were looking at switches at the end of the aisle, like the systems. Yeah, don't buy that one right there because we just got them in. We got the Mario Kart 8. It's the same price, but you get Mario Kart 8 for it. You might as well get that version. Like,
Oh yeah.
and so he's like, meet me up front. We'll grab it. I don't know if they went with the OLED or the standard. I almost walked over.
I
and said,
see one for Walmart here, at least in New Jersey. There is for 360.
If you plan on playing that bitch handheld, there's no point in getting standard.
I was almost gonna walk over, and I was like, I was like, hey, if you really think, just get the OLED. Trust me,
It's night
it's
and day.
worth it. It's worth it. Unless you're never gonna.
Damn, man. I wonder how much longer though this will be available. The Switch Lite Hyrule Edition with bonus Nintendo Switch
Probably not
Online.
much. If they only have the Japanese ones.
No, this is the other one. This is the I'm talking about the Echoes
Oh,
of
you mean
Wisdom one.
Switch Lite? Yeah, Switch Lite. You said.
Yeah, I wonder how long that'll
I'm
be.
sure that'll be around a
Oh
while.
wait, hold on a second. Hold on a second. No, it includes it's a year long. It's a year
Really?
online.
Wow.
That's a deal.
Yeah.
Wow.
Also includes a 12-month Nintendo Switch Online plus expansion pack.
Now
That's pretty good.
Okay, now that's good.
So
That ain't bad. I'm surprised they haven't advertised that.
That is weird. I thought I would have. That's something you want to advertise. A full year.
Full year plus the light itself. Man, that's kind of tempting.
Here's a
to just get rid of
PlayStation. Here's a PS5 deal.
it.
I'm looking at console deals. It's the
It's
digital,
tempting to get.
the digital edition of the PlayStation 5 and NBA 2K25 for $450.
Mm.
That's gonna take up your whole hard drive. I don't know how big those games are.
Yeah.
Wow, they have
The 2K games, those bitches are 100 gigs.
And then-
minimum.
they have console or covers on the official site. They have a blue, a cool green. Are they gonna do a gray 30th anniversary? They should just do the frickin' let you buy the damn covers for the gray.
You gotta get them Hyrule Edition consoles because I know the 3DS one. You
Yeah,
ever see the blue one? That's the blue Zelda 3DS. It has the crest and everything on it.
Mhm.
That bitch is $800 right now, bro.
I never think
Hey,
about that
you,
shit.
You think this Hyrule Edition is gonna go up in price at some point?
I think so. Yeah.
Hmm.
I'm gonna say I know so. I know it's gonna go up. It's gonna go up to at least 4 or 5.
I'm
in
tempted to
value.
buy this thing right now, to be honest with you.
I
That's why
mean,
buy this.
I need to think. I don't ever think about that stuff. Like I've never bought a second version unless it was to replace like my previous.
Well, me neither. I don't even do it, but I don't have a Switch Lite, and I've always wanted to at least have one of those.
Oh, I thought you were
little
talking about
damn
the Tears of the Kingdom one.
No, I'm talking about the Switch
You
Lite.
you can buy a used Switch Lite for like 120. Buy yourself an OLED screen.
That seems like
You're spending 170, and you got a fucking OLED Switch Lite.
Yeah, but I'm thinking if I'm gonna get a Switch Lite, I would like to.
Collectible.
I'd like to get the collectible. Yeah, the Hyrule one. You know, Hyrule Edition one. You know.
Yeah, I only have a couple of them.
building the ultimate OLED Switch
the
Lite.
Pokemon ones.
I don't know who this is. I'm gonna share the video because I want to see it.
The Nintendo Switch Lite is my favorite handheld.
I want to see the difference. Is it bigger or just the OLED version of the?
What am I thinking? Tears of the Kingdom now.
This guy is a really modded thing. Look at this.
Oh, yeah.
It's not popping up for me.
Is that Taki Udon?
I didn't look. Yep.
Are you able to see?
I know my YouTubers just by their hands. Yeah. I know
Yeah, if
how to
it
get
takes
to
up the
my
full
way.
screen, that's even more appealing than just being OLED. If it's like removes the border of this, so he's gonna do it to this one.
You talking about what? This is the building the ultimate. Okay.
Yeah, putting your.
Let's see. Oh.
I'm gonna jump ahead a
This is
little
for
bit.
educational purposes only.
I might have to do this for.
And
You
this
know, for
guy, he
video
goes
purposes.
in.
I
This guy
can do
goes
this for video
in
purposes
on the
too,
modding.
so
Yeah.
that's my excuse.
Well, I just did a
Right.
recent video, N64 one, modding, and I'm gonna have that up tomorrow.
There
Yeah,
you
if
go.
this looks
It's-
simple enough, I'm
It's
be
literally the
tempted.
easiest mod of all time.
Not that I need a light. Like I'm not gonna play it over.
You never play it.
Oh, is it?
Like, what's the point of having a light in handheld? You've
Yeah.
already played in handheld.
So the
Wow.
bottom one looks brighter but washed out, maybe because of his exposure. Let me try to figure out. I don't know which one's which because if it's a brighter screen and his exposure is not adjusted for
I
the
think the top screen looks like the top one.
top one,
I
looks
don't know.
better in this comparison, but it could just because
The angle.
yeah.
You got to put them on the same level.
And
Put 'em both-
OLEDs, they're not necessarily the brightest, but if it is a brighter one and he's not favoring it in the
I'm looking at the blacks on the Minecraft. Oh, actually, the bottom one looks like the blacks. The black chick in the Minecraft movie. That's what I'm looking at.
yeah, he's not fixing the exposure for the brighter screen, so
Oh well, that's definitely the bottom screen right there.
mhm.
Yeah.
Maybe he's just talking about brightness here. And this is color accuracy. This is what when you get your shit calibrated, your monitors or your projectors.
Mm.
But yeah, it's gonna be hard to tell. But you got to see it with your eyes.
It's hard to tell.
I didn't believe it till I saw it with my eyes, and I was like, I have to. I thought about it for like a month, and I was like, God damn it, I can't stop thinking about that OLED. And I had to get it.
This man almost bought a Steam Deck OLED.
Yeah.
Because it's OLED.
So does he not show this? Oh, here we go.
That bottom one looks washed out like a.
Yeah, it's because it's a brighter display because it's not the backlit, lower quality LCD.
Jeez, I don't know if I'd be able to do this.
I bought a
Yeah, you can
toolkit
do
to do
that.
this stuff, and I've only used it.
Do that shit.
You know what's funny, you guys? I went to. I was gonna swap out my analog stick after that drift.
You're there. That's it. You're there.
That's it. Wow, I thought you were gonna have to like get way deeper.
No, that's it.
Pause.
It's not that hard.
Do you have to peel anything off? Is it glued? Do you have to heat it up?
I think it's.
Some
I
people
haven't
have
done the
like a
screen.
little.
I've been in my Switch,
Yeah, you
obviously,
do.
but you gotta heat it
I
up.
seen one where the guy has a little heating
I got a
pad.
heat gun, so it's not a big deal for me.
So you got to take the front. That's the part I'd be worried about is dust getting between this front part and the screen itself.
Just make sure you have a clean work area.
I don't think I can do that. This is
You can do this. This is come on.
that's the
You're just removing a few screws for the motherboard to get out of the way, and your screen is right there.
Bro, I broke my I didn't break, but it was the Dreamcast, the one little tape I just doofed.
What is he doing now?
I don't know if I
Putting it
should
back
do
together?
this.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
gotta
did
be
he
putting
show
it
the
together now.
screen getting reinstalled?
You took out the buttons too?
That's easy. They can only go back in one way.
There's
He
no
didn't
way-
really show
yeah.
putting the screen in,
True.
but
Yeah, he barely showed the screen going
Yeah.
in.
anyway.
Sure.
You guys, you know how the drift was happening when we were trying to play Smash and my
Yeah.
Joy-Cons?
Yeah.
So I was like, oh, I'm gonna fix that. I got time off. I got an
That's a
extra.
pain to fix.
So I booted up and I'm like, I think it was the left one, wasn't it? It was the left one because it was in Smash. And I spent 5 minutes in the screen trying to get it to drift, and it is perfect. Like I'm sitting there pressing it really fast, like it
Really?
did, and I think you might have been right. There might have been some kind of interference.
That's what I was saying. You don't think it was a Bluetooth thing? It had to. Maybe
It probably was a Bluetooth.
I don't know what
thing.
else was going on though. Maybe it was because we all had phones. I don't know, but it worked absolutely flawless. 'Cause I know I just swapped one of them, and I thought it was the left one. So, I guess it
was like
saved me some
Miyamoto
time.
on stage.
Yeah.
With, Skyward Sword.
Saved me some time for having to swap it out. So I still have a brand new one because I bought a double pack, and I swapped it. And I think I swapped that one on the left. It might have been the right one. I can't quite
I
remember.
wonder if that hurt the sales of that game. I saw Miyamoto demo the shit.
Yeah.
Sure,
That was
a
bad.
few copies only. Nothing crazy though.
It'd been
Well,
cool if
It was
that.
the lowest selling Zelda.
Yeah, it was.
And now Echoes is one of the lowest Metacritic Zeldas besides a couple. Like, it's crazy.
Well, I mean, that's pretty damn good if your lowest rating is like an 86 out of like
Right.
15, 16 games is crazy.
And today, like, obviously back in the day, you had 5 fucking reviewers reviewing something. Today, there's so many more chances
Who's
to
hungry?
get your score
I mean,
knocked down.
Literally, if you look at the number, it's
Well, people hate
100 reviewers.
Right. That's what people
And
hate on Ocarina of Time because it's like the highest rated game of all time, but it has
Mhm.
like 7 reviewers.
No, it's got a
If you-
decent, it's got a decent amount though. I mean, it's got like 30.
Yeah,
No,
I was
But
obviously
there
being
are. Well, no, you know what people really hated on was that actually legit had like 7 reviews and it had 100. Do you remember this? This was like last year. It had 100 on Metacritic, and this was this visual novel Switch game that had like 7 reviewers.
one?
So that, I think it went down to 98 or something now.
Oh, no.
It's some crazy thing. I'm gonna call it Fate of the. I'm gonna say Morgana. I don't think that's what it's
not
called.
what I
The
was
face
thinking.
in the house in the Fata Morgana. Why do I remember it? Well, because I was so amazed. I was like, holy shit! It has 100,
Princess
and it
Morgana?
actually it has a 96 right now with 10 critics.
Oh man, dropped to 96.
Yeah, but it was legit at 100, and it had just enough where it was validated because it had just enough reviewers, and it was the highest rated game for like a little bit, and people are like, "Oh, that's not right." And yeah, technically that's probably not right.
You gotta
If you
get
only have
Zelda back up there.
if you only have like 5 critics and you're at 100, it's like, well,
What is Zelda? Is it a 9.8?
it's a 9.9.
It's 9.9, really?
Yeah. No one's gonna touch that ever. That's just
Ocarina of
okay.
Time.
So it's 22 critics, so it is a little lower than even I thought.
Okay.
Yeah, 22 critics at 99. There's no way anyone's ever gonna pass that. I mean, this or even get to it. Like no
As
one's
it
even
should be the greatest game of all time.
well, legitimately, like no one will ever get to even a 98
No.
again. I don't think so. I just don't see it. Like that, maybe staying there for like a few, but it will drop down to like a 97.
'Cause you'll have people who like who probably would have given it that, but they don't want to seem, they'll just drop the fucking score for just how they feel about,
yeah,
anything. So
yeah.
it's gonna be hard to get a game that high, 99.
I always say that the craziest score to me that's like the high. There's some that are just like the highest of all time, and you're like, what the hell? But again, I wasn't there during the time, so maybe that's why that it's so bizarre to me. Is let me see, you got Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 3 at a 97.
Yeah, that was a well beloved and still to this day, well loved game.
I know it, but damn,
It's great.
97?
It's a great game. It really is.
I played it on the PS2 and
Yeah.
stuff, but I was I was a kid and didn't play
Yeah,
it.
especially for the time it came out, and I was the perfect age for that fucking game, and because extreme sports and all that shit was really popping, exports and motocross and all kinds of shit was happening, and that was just like the perfect game to come out, and it controlled flawlessly, and it had a great soundtrack, and that's all you really needed for that type of game, and I get it.
How about 97 NFL 2K1? 97?
2K1 was pretty bad. It was pretty badass. That was
It says
was a
Dreamcast
fantastic
version.
game. Yeah, Dreamcast. Yeah, that's where I played it.
97, that makes it the 15th highest rating of all time. It's
Those
just like,
games played so well. I think the probably the weakest part. I don't know. No, the running was pretty good from what I remember in 2K. They just played really well. They were like, first of all, it was 60 frames, which was something you wouldn't really see back then, and it's how smoothly it ran. And the commentary on those games was like we hadn't had that. So that's what you gotta. It's hard to you go back and look at it and play the game now and like okay whatever, but in that time period when it came out, you got to look at the context of the time period. When that game came out, it controlled flawless. The commentary, like I said, it felt like I was watching a fucking NFL game because before that it was like this guy just ran 4 yards, and that would be the audio for it. That's the crowd. The crowd goes wild. It was just like really bad. This shit felt like a ESPN production. It was so smooth the way, especially I forget the other guy's name, but he would always come in with little funny quips, and it was always funny. It's like I felt like I was playing a fucking football game in real time, and that's why those games are so highly rated. Because it was, again, that's why I try to tell younger people is that you can't look at it. You can look back at it and say, oh, this game is dated or it didn't translate to today, but you got to look at it and the time those guys reviewed it. And the time those guys reviewed it, that was the most phenomenal thing on the planet. The way those games played, and especially the audio.
For what games?
Was fantastic. Oh, NFL 2K.
Oh yeah.
He's looking up
2K1 is one of the best football.
2K1, yeah.
It's the best.
No, I was looking up.
Game
I was
on the
looking up like the
Dreamcast.
highest rated games. Some of them are always
by the
a little
way, it was the
confusing to me.
first one that was online, and that was a huge deal.
Okay.
Yeah.
Shout out to Clocked
Awesome.
It. 2K1 was the best game on the Dreamcast.
Well, because according to Metacritic, it
Best
it's
game
completely
Sega
agrees.
ever. Best game Sega ever published. Boom.
Juice, I was saying that is one of the highest rated games of all time at a
Of all time.
97.
2K1.
97.
It's one of the best sports games, if not the best sports game ever made. Now people tend to favor 2K5, but 2K1 for me was perfection.
2K5, really?
A lot of people
I know
hold that
people
in
love
high
that
regard.
game because of it came out. It was like $20 or some shit.
Yeah, but that, it was a good
Love
game.
that game. Oh, it was a good game.
It was on Xbox. It was on PlayStation.
Is that the one that had the first person mode, basically, where you could?
Maybe.
Is that the one? I think you.
I'm pretty
as a
sure-
running back, you can be in first person and shit. That
I'm
was a
pretty
cool
sure
little.
I have
These NFL
that.
games used to rate really high, man. I'm seeing
Dude.
95, 94, 94,
I'm
92.
gonna look
Yeah,
up
those
2K1 right
games
now.
blew us away.
I'm
Blew
not-
us. I
Which,
remember walking
by the
into
way,
a.
hey, another very high scored game. I didn't, for some reason I didn't think about it, but this is definitely going to be a game of the year nominee for a lot of people and stuff. Is a Metaphor Refantazo? How do you even say that game? It's the new Atlas game. It's literally their first original like IP after Persona.
Let's look at this.
94.
One of the highest games of all time.
Yeah. Oh, is he trolling?
No,
Oh.
Yeah, this is 2K1, right?
Okay. Yeah.
this is the Dreamcast. This is 2000.
2000. In the year 2000.
Yeah, the PS2 version, Madden blew it out of the water.
I love this intro too. It's pretty cool. Got me hyped.
It's been a while since I've seen it. I'm gonna skip ahead a little bit.
I was telling him that also another highest rated game of all time, 97, is also Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 3.
Let's listen to the commentary here.
Oh, yeah.
And welcome to
That's what I was telling them, the
Pittsburgh,
commentary.
Pennsylvania, here on the Sega Sports Network.
This was so beyond
It's
anything
2000
else we'd ever
preseason
played.
football.
It destroyed anything,
I'm Dan
any
Stevens,
football,
along
any
with
kind of
Peter
sports game.
O'Keefe. Peter, tell me who you
NFL
like
probably
today.
take us,
I'm
strike
Peter
us.
Jerome Bettis. The bus looks ready to
He
level
looks
any
a little
defensive player with his
chunky.
bruising,
He's
punishing,
chunky
and
as hell.
aggressive style of play. The only way to tackle this speed is to gang up on him with 3 or 4
I haven't
players.
seen this
Huge.
game in 20 plus years.
Definitely plays
Yo,
like a
even this
man
is us.
among
They need to
boys.
gang up on him
The
with 3
Raiders are coming
Yeah,
to
there's gonna be
Who do you think has to play a
Sus
role?
commentary.
innuendos if you're listening
I
for him.
really admire
Who does he really admire?
Signals and will kick off.
Listen to that crowd. Shit's
That
legit.
sounds like a crowd. It didn't. I was just telling Robert. Crowds before that sound like.
Yeah.
I like.
Look at the animation.
Yeah.
Look at that. Oh,
The tackle on
Yeah.
the return.
Let's watch a couple
Thing of
plays
beauty.
here.
Steelers want to apply pressure early on and
the
establish
Steelers
tempo
want to
of the
apply
game.
pressure.
Oh yeah, plus the play calling was like
Play calling.
unique.
Better shot at controlling
How it like showed the play
Yeah.
on the screen like that.
Oh, this takes me back. This takes me back looking at this screen.
Come out on the field to start the game and
Got a long way to
Well,
go,
by the
baby.
way, you can hide the play in your if you're playing somebody. You can hide them on your VMU,
Yeah.
so nobody can see your plays. If you're playing.
incomplete.
And you could throw the ball
Ouch.
Shannon sure threw up a turkey.
if the let's say your receiver was crossing to the right, but there was a defender there. If you pressed to the left and threw it, it would throw it behind the receiver, so that he could so it wouldn't be
Yes,
intercepted.
Yep.
And then they got rid of that in the later games because people could have, I guess, abused it. But it was such an innovative thing. Like, hey, I don't want to throw
Rich
this ball
Gannon.
because it's going. If I throw it where the play goes, he's going to intercept it. So I could throw it where I wanted to. It was amazing.
This is before Jerry Rice, huh?
Wide open. There you go.
Ricky Dudley.
Yeah, this
I
is
remember him.
24 years ago. I mean, yeah, I mean the lighting, but look at the
Yeah.
animation.
He
absolutely.
tight end. He came over with John Gruden from the Raiders when we won the
It
Super
looks
Bowl
good.
the first time.
Animation just looked
Let's
as
see
good
what-
as me.
Let's see what right before this game came out. I'll show you the game I was playing.
Listen, you can hear people talking and chattering in the
Yeah, I heard
crowd and everything.
someone
Yeah,
scream.
screaming
This
shit.
is what
That
I was playing
amazing,
2 years
bro.
before, or a year before. Right up until I got 2K.
Lenny Wright says, "I remember people say, oh, it looks like real football. I can't tell the difference."
Yeah, my dad
But the
said
animations were so good. If you walk by the TV when somebody
Yeah.
was playing or watching a replay, you thought it was a real football game, especially with the audio.
Yeah, that makes sense.
that. Man, this brings back memories. Just seeing these,
Well, I
seeing
remember
these
I
icons.
was watching like some NBA 2K stuff, and my dad would be like, "Oh, are you watching the game? I thought it was you were like watching an actual game." I'm like, well, yeah.
Like, just look at the lack of presentation too. Now, this isn't the only football game at the time, but just the lack of presentation from this to 2 years later.
Today's game is between the Buccaneers.
I don't know if it's
I know
shown
this
on-
one. Don't tell me this is in the hold on, quarterback club.
Yeah.
The Buccaneers.
I know quarterback club.
The Buccaneers. Now, this wasn't like complete trash, like visually, but That sounds like just a robot, you know,
Looking to
talking.
receive the kickoff. Yeah, it's stiff.
And the
Yeah,
gameplay was
they-
terrible.
Is this on 64?
Yeah, this is the N64.
Yeah, okay.
The box art
'Cause I
made
know
it. They showed the PC version. It looked like fucking PS2
Oh
yeah,
yeah.
PS2 graphics. I would say.
I didn't play Madden in this time period. I played Quarterback Club. I played the shit out of this game.
Just
Yeah,
I
you
mean,
can see the animations a big
Yeah.
difference.
Mm-hmm.
this was the first game where you would actually see a person get tackled instead of just fall down from running into them. Like somebody
Right.
would actually lay on top of them as they tackled them. But yeah, I mean, it's just the presentation. It's so below. The Dreamcast was just that was a huge leap.
Yeah, I know that Quarterback Club commentary and
Look
audio.
at the very stiff. The running,
Yep.
it was impossible to run.
For you, I remember you said that to me before. I'm like, I used to run all over this fucking game.
I think the longest run I ever had was like 5 yards.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
You get you because you got to be
I
patient.
played it with a group of people. Like, I played it with some buddies. We could not fucking run the ball. Like, it was. Let's see if this person can.
I mastered this game's little quirks. Just like
Look at that, just instant sack.
pancake.
Face mask. Where was the face mask there?
It's my boy Sap. Well, I didn't see a face mask. They just make shit up
So,
because they didn't have the animation to
and then
show
before
you.
this,
it's randomly making. Oh no, are we going back to EA Madden 95 or some shit? Woo!
I remember hearing this. Oh my god, that sounds amazing.
That was amazing. Yeah, again, like, context. This was amazing to us.
Visual Concept, same company that did 2K. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, they did Madden games before. Sony bought them, or Sega bought them.
I did not.
Welcome to John Madden Football.
Yeah, they had pedigree. That's why the 2K games were so good.
I was wondering. This is a bad.
Yeah, it's a pretty
This
big
is a
leap.
this is a terrible capture. Game looks better than this in person.
It don't look much better. But let's be honest.
On a
It looks much
CRT,
better than
it does.
Yeah,
This is like zoomed
it's
in.
blown out. It's blown out and shit too.
Yeah.
Visually.
Me and my buddy down the road, we used to play the whole seasons on the same team.
Oh yeah.
You
Yeah.
hear the crowd?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Sounds like a swarm of wasps or some
The
shit.
sad thing is, like, the new Madden looks so good, like visually, but
Yeah.
But apparently they're so bad with it. Like they
Yeah.
they keep fumbling or some shit.
That's what happens when you don't have any
I
competition.
keep fumbling.
You have a chance for greatness
Look at that.
every single week.
Shit looks
The
real.
reality is, not every team can say that. And really,
Look
the
at
key to this
the way
game
he
is just how
catches, look at the
fast he was
replay, look
able
at
to
that.
get through
Look at
his
that grab.
progressions.
I wish
How
the
he
game
was
was
able to
great,
process
because I would love to
from
have a
1,
good
2,
Madden,
3,
good football
so
game that looked like
quickly
this.
He was able to get the ball to the right
I haven't played
target.
Madden in
Look at, I
on
mean,
time,
that,
and I
you
think
could
so often
easily
things
fool
are
somebody
different.
from a distance
Being
without, if you take off the
being
stuff off the
open and
screen.
getting the ball on time, that's what leads
put it
to
in
success.
replay mode. You can tell.
Yeah.
So here-
Like that right there from a far enough away.
Inside the 30-yard line. That look like some real shit.
Pickup of 13 yards. Good for a Chiefs first down.
And I know these guys commentate.
Mike
with,
Tirico.
Yeah.
Throwing.
But I think
Not my
animation
favorite,
wise,
but
it
they did a
obviously,
job,
but I think it does show how impressive that PK1 is.
Mhm.
Because
Oh, there you go.
that is pretty
Like
good.
little dances in the end zone and shit.
And that is the way to start a game.
Yep.
Just score
I'd love to
points.
have a good Madden game, or a good, like you keep saying, good football game. Doesn't have to be Madden.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, so yeah. I think we do the Killer Instinct comparisons off stream a couple weeks ago.
No, we did it on here. We did that
Did
on
we?
stream. That was
Killer
on-
Instinct.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was a fun trip.
Yeah, looked at the different Killer Instinct and-
The best thing was the difference between
Killer
Soul Calibur
Instinct.
Arcade and the Dreamcast version. So
Yeah.
much better.
That's a nuts. That I can't even
That-
believe that.
How crazy is that? That the console performed better than the damn arcade.
Yeah, I can't believe it all.
That's insane.
Massive difference.
So
As
this-
they get
It doesn't
set
even
to
make sense.
cheer
Well, if you think about it, I believe Soul Calibur was running on like PlayStation hardware or something like that. Because the first one, Soul Blade, was a PlayStation game, and I think it was running off PlayStation arcade hardware.
Okay, what console do you think this is? It might be a PC upgrade port or
I was
something.
gonna say it looks like I was gonna say PS2, but the way it's moving,
Because it looks a little choppy, like someone's pushing the
it looks
resolution.
newer though. It looks like 360 PS3.
This is an Xbox original, but I think someone enhanced it now that I'm watching
Yeah,
it. That looks.
that's why I said PS2 because it looks
Yeah,
older,
it's in
but
4K. That's why.
it's really sharp. That shit look real sharp.
Well, maybe it's on Series X.
And maybe it's on PC emulator.
So this is the original Xbox 2K5 before EA bought the NFL license.
Look a little ashy.
But that looks good. Oh,
But look at the
looks like-
players. Like the
The players
referee
are
didn't
great.
look so good.
First down and 4 wideouts in the game.
But yeah, before you,
Bunch of receivers out there. Defense
they went to different play calling screen too from
I
2K1.
had fallen back into Madden by this point.
For the score.
I believe I have this game still.
I know I have it.
Freddie Mitchell reels in the catch despite.
I think I have
Look at
it.
this. He's even on the phone with the offensive coordinator, Donovan McNabb.
I mean, his face looked like something out of N64 though.
Jeremy Shockey. Damn, this is a blast from the
Jeremy
past.
Shockey.
Why is it always
My
your
man.
teams? I'm clicking on these
My
videos.
man. Bucks or Giants? It's always Bucks or Giants.
They beat the Seahawks. Roy's
He
watching.
beats his man cold. It's
Tiki
My
Barber.
man. Tiki.
Who else was on this? Was this a Plaxico? Burris?
I don't think Burks was there. I think he was still in Steelers at this point.
falls incomplete. One man down.
It's probably Toomer.
Just watching the line play. Oh,
Over the middle and
Ooh,
it's
that was a bad pick.
Eli. He liked to throw in pick sixes.
Look at the animations. They look really damn
Good.
good, man.
Yeah.
This is only at 360p. God damn. Let me
And this
bump it up.
is what?
This is the
Xbox
original
or-
Xbox.
Yeah.
Yeah, this was $20 game. Madden was 50, and then Madden or EA said, you know what, we can't compete. Look at the line. Look at the blocking. They can't even get the blocking right on the new
Putting a
Madden.
game that looks like
nobody can
this
stop
out
him,
there
man. I
for
hope his mom's
$20,
got
we
the
can't compete with
VCR
that.
So
going.
they took-
Lock up this lights.
They took a bag of money to the NFL and they locked it up. It's the biggest
NFL crazy.
travesty that in gaming, in my opinion, it's one of the biggest travesties of all of gaming history.
Crazy.
See, this one
literally-
says the greatest video game of all time, and it's 2K5 on the thumbnail. So,
EA was just, they were just assholes to.
oh, this
Sega
was
to begin with.
this was the depth chart. Kurt Warner, starting quarterback. Eli Manning, backup. Tiki Barber, Amani
Oh yeah,
Toomer,
2000. That would have been 2004.
Ponder, and Taylor, the receivers. Ike Hilliard, Carter,
Hilliard,
Amani Toomer. Oh, it's the same one.
Amani
Shockey. Those are the ones I know. So yeah.
I used to
Oh yeah,
love
Ron
watching
Dane.
Shockey
Ron
run.
Dane, the running back.
Ron Dane.
But anyway,
Thunder and lightning, baby. Thunder and lightning.
why don't you mean Dreamcast hardware for Soul Calibur? They didn't. The arcade cabinet didn't have. Maybe it was
No,
like.
the arcade cabinet did not have Dreamcast hardware. From what I
I'll
remember.
have to show it. We'll have to show it.
I thought we did. I guess that was.
I think it was off air. I think I went over that off air. We'll do arcade versus. It's
AMD.
unbelievable. Like,
Surprised.
it's one of those times where I said it, but I'm like doubting my own memory of the difference, and then when we saw it, it was like, holy shit! Like it was even greater than I remembered.
I still would go to the arcade for the camaraderie, but it was like I don't really need to. I got a Dreamcast.
It's just so much the resolution
Well,
and the
I feel like I
polygon
can tell
count.
already.
Okay, this feels like Dreamcast. Oh, that's arcade.
That was Namco
It's just a
System
character
12.
selection. It looks more like a PS1 game for sure.
Yeah,
Wow, the sound quality is better,
I
too.
feel like I could be wrong, but it's just something that's stuck in my memory.
Maybe
I
it
feel
was
like
the Saturn architecture.
PlayStation.
See the extra
I think it was
characters.
Saturn because Namco, or outside of the Japanese version of Dead or Alive. Yeah, look at that. I mean,
The
can tell
ground
already.
texture, the pixelation.
Pixelation, the flutteriness.
It was like that looks so
How
much
dry
cleaner.
that shit looks. Yeah, it. So PTI.
That
Win.
still my memory makes it.
Look at that. That's a
Yeah.
big difference, man.
Yeah,
Yeah.
in my memory it looks even like the Dreamcast version looks even better, but maybe
even
it's the
better than
stage. Yeah, look at that. Definitely a lot of aliasing,
Yeah.
a lot of jaggies. I thought the polygon count was different, but I'm not seeing a huge difference there.
Yeah, for me it wasn't a polygon. It
The
was
face
just, like,
definitely. I think the face.
textures and
Okay, switch to the damn.
lighting was big.
What's the video quality needs to be bumped up? Why is it defaulting to 360p? Jesus Christ. That's gonna make the difference even. I mean, it doesn't look terrible,
No, but you can tell the difference.
That's a big
Some-
difference.
but yeah, that's
So,
like
people like
N64
us who
face,
play-
though.
This shit hundreds of hours. Look at that. Look
Yeah.
at that. Look at that. Come on,
Look at
bro.
it. That's
Come on.
that's the difference.
Come on. That's a huge
It
difference.
went from N64 GoldenEye face to definitely Shenmue face.
Look at that. That's a
Look,
drastic difference.
look how fluid that shit is.
I mean, imagine going from Robert. I mean, like, N64 to this was just like mind blowing. That's why
Oh,
I
yeah.
stopped playing my N64.
I ain't want to say all that, but I definitely looked down on it. I looked at it a different light after Dreamcast came out.
Is the physics better? Are the jiggle physics? enhanced?
Definitely.
The skirt physics, the cloth physics, I should say.
hmm
I want to see the side by side in this one.
Shadowing, like I said, the lighting's better in this version.
This was 60 frames per second for a $200 console. I mean,
Look at
just
that.
look at the face difference. Like,
Yeah.
show the side by side. Damn it.
Oof.
I mean, just look at that. That's a
All I
wow.
gotta say is oof.
I mean, that's better than
It's
N64,
like,
but
Yeah, it's still
it's like
better
a
than
different generation, though. It really is like a
Feels like-
different generation.
Yeah, the backgrounds remind me of PlayStation 1.
yeah, they got the
especially.
warping effect too.
The warping, yeah.
backgrounds. I wish they would just do a
I
side
knew I
by
was
side.
remembering that correctly. It was built on like basically PlayStation
See if there's
enhanced
a side by
architecture.
side. Showed it in the thumbnail.
Yeah, you got to do that shit during the game. You got to try to make the
'Cause that's
scenario
how
similar
it shows it way more,
in the video.
and I gotta keep bumping up the
Everybody's
quality.
favorite.
Keelik. Well, is that Keelik or Maxis?
No, that's Maxi.
Maxi pad.
Maxi, he was so easy to look good. Like
Yeah, he just pressed some
He could-
buttons and he did
he
that
could
shit.
combo shit and make you like you was a fucking pro playing this game. He was so easy.
Yeah, this was just like you could
String
just
shit
watch
together.
30-second animations of your characters doing martial
Look
arts.
at that.
Oh, there we go. This is the
That's
best way
a
to show it.
crazy difference.
Look
Look
at
at the difference.
You would swear on the one on the
I
right.
wish it was
the
bigger
arcade.
screen though. I don't know why I did this shrunken down.
I mean,
Look
they
at the
should-
wobbly ass background on the left.
Mhm.
Yeah.
That is PlayStation remnant, the wobbly
Yeah, I thought I remembered that correctly.
animations.
My
are the
video
same.
game brain is still going.
But look at
strong.
this. This was 1999. Look at the animation.
99.
Yeah.
I don't know if they
I would
motion
love it.
captured.
I'm sure you did it too. I would just sit there.
I'd
and just
watch all
wait
these.
and watch all the animation stuff, like all these animations.
Let me find.
It was just fun just to sit there. I'm like, how is this good looking? I can't believe this console sold 9 million copies, 9 million units.
It was
That's
$200, and then it was $100 a year later. People still didn't buy
That's
it.
Crazy.
insane to me.
I would have bought it. If
I don't give a damn how well PS2
Look
did.
at the ground texture in this one.
Insane.
This is the
Yeah,
biggest
look at the
difference.
texture. That's what I said. The textures is the biggest difference.
Dude, it's legit not even close.
I mean, that's
It's like I
Dreamcast
said, it's
version
like-
still
it's-
looks like
To
a
me,
good
like
game.
this would be like, wow, what a bump in what a different generation. That's a big leap in a
And,
generation.
and back in the day, I would hook mine up to my VGA to my computer monitor. With the VGA, that shit looked so clean. I was like, I'm not playing this on a TV ever again. But
This-
weirdly, some games didn't want to work with the VGA. It was some weird
What do you think this character?
issue.
Well, oh, it was that Killer Instinct where that person was the same character every time. So this was N64 3D Fighter. Actually looks better than I expected.
Baby.
I thought this was 3D, like you
Like
can move
the shit out
around.
of this too.
No, the 3D ones was the PS2 one.
It switches. It does stuff like that, but in the character models are 3D. But
Yeah, I thought
Yeah,
you could
it
actually, the camera
was-
would move around more. And this
Oh,
actually
no.
looks better than I expected.
Yeah, 3D was PS2 game.
I rented this game once. But honestly, this looks, I didn't expect it to look this good.
Look up Gold. That's on Dreamcast. I don't know if there's a big difference.
Oh, is it just gold?
Yeah, Mortal Kombat Gold.
I
I
never,
have it. I don't even know the. There's a big difference.
on Dreamcast,
I never played it.
Yeah,
yeah,
it's like
Yeah.
an updated version. I don't know if they updated
it's
graphics. or
it
anything.
looks the same. It's just like
Oh, they didn't update
720
graphics or
S
anything?
video 720.
no, not really. The textures look better. The models look a little cleaner, but that's it. From what from what I remember, I played it recently.
Pretty big character roster.
No, that's just the towers.
Well, before that, it was the roster.
Oh,
Oh, who dat?
well, because I think this is like the Ultimate Edition type of game. Gold.
Tanya, huh? Tanya?
Yeah,
Yeah, this doesn't look right. But
it doesn't. Yeah, it looks. This is to me. This is Turok.
yeah,
If you play Turok, the remaster,
I don't know if
looks
this
like
is
this
actually
type
how
of
it
shit.
looked on the Dreamcast, or this is what somebody made it look for this recording.
No, I
Maybe.
think this is how it looked. This is how I remember it looking. I mean, I haven't played it in about 7 or 8 months, but
A review from 3 years. This is long play Dreamcast. All right, this will be.
yeah,
What's it
this
say?
guy's always used
How's it in 4K though?
real hardware. What the fuck? It's not really 4K, I'm sure. Oh no,
Yeah, that's enhanced.
that's enhanced.
Doesn't really help it much. I mean,
Nope.
anyway, trip down memory lane. I haven't seen the chat in
True.
forever. I've been watching the screen.
They probably pieced out on us.
Anybody even here? Yeah, we got people watching. Hey, I always like look. See, I took some heat for this in the past about saying, hey, this game maybe didn't age well, but I like looking back and saying, wow, that looks great still. Like, I mean, that's what I hope to see. Sometimes I'm expecting it to think it looks great and think, oh wow, that looks pretty shitty. But looking at Soul Calibur on Dreamcast, it still looks good to me. Like,
Yeah.
Then
Oh, I know
like-
that still looks good because I still play the shit. I still play it, so I know it looks good.
now some of the other games I'm sure don't hold up as well. Like MDK2 did not look
MDK2
like I
doesn't
remember.
hold up
No.
because I mean it's literally a PS1 port to begin with, so
I really
it didn't
enjoyed
look
that
great.
game.
That's that happened a few times on the Dreamcast. That was a problem on the Dreamcast, where they would just port it from the PS1 and they didn't really use the Dreamcast
Mhm.
power and shit. That was just a
NBA
product of-
Shootout that was a while ago. Lenny asked NFL game. I played maybe I don't know if I played either. Of
Yeah,
those.
Shootout, is that the one with? No, I'm thinking of. I was gonna say, is that the one with Shaq on the cover? I don't think that's Shootout though. They had like the NBC.
Yeah, I didn't play any. I didn't. Play
NBA
that.
on NBC, fucking.
But anyway, we talked about a lot of stuff. Last week I looked at the title. Is the PS5 Pro going to be successful? I don't know if we talked about it, the system, but I don't think we actually asked that question and answered it.
I think we
So,
all mentally have
But-
our opinion of it already.
I mean, it's still available for pre. I just wish somebody could give me a reason.
Again, that's not a good gauge because
Yeah, you said the PS4
PS4 Pro was the same.
But it does.
And it sold pretty well for what it was 14.
It does go against the guy who said it would sell out in 10
$99.
minutes and be 6
Well,
months
yeah.
before it was available. And when I argued with him, he just doubled down and
Well,
just.
you can't argue with ponies.
Actually, he didn't sound like a pony.
Oh.
He thought I was, and so he threw out like, "Oh, their stocks are falling as I type this." Like, I don't care. Like, I was like, "So?" I said,
Weird.
"It still doesn't change." And then he turned. That's where he turned into, "Well, you just not for you." Like I'm not like me. I don't know. He didn't say he didn't think I could afford it, but he just said, "Well, you're not who it's
That's
for."
a weird. People do that online a lot, and that's just a weird. Can you see into my bank account? Man?
Yeah.
Like what? What about me says I couldn't?
It's for
afford it?
somebody who cares about that stuff. Who had a PS4 Pro. I was like, I have all. I have an OLED TV. I care about this stuff. Trust me, I'm in the market for it. That's why.
I got a expensive ass theater.
Yeah, I
room, nigga.
almost.
don't
I
care.
like I said last. I almost said go check out my channel, my video, my home theater tour. I like
Right.
that kind of stuff. I wanted it to be
Yeah.
more.
So that's me dunking on you, mom.
Yeah. But anyway, let's get out of here. It's fun. And
Another one bites the dust.
yeah. How
It's
many?
funny watching Beetlejuice, and getting to the part where he goes, "The juice is loose."
Yeah.
We should. Oh, I get that reference of it.
Yeah,
That's not where I got it from.